Going all gas, no break. Welcome to Can Chronicle Live, folks. I'm your host, John Camo. Some of you know me by my Twitter name, Dixie Normus. Our show would not be a show without my two co-hosts. And yes, they're both here. So some people like it, some people don't, but they're both here. Eric D and Boozy B. So as I bring them on, you know what to do. Run to the fridge, grab your Pricks Insider, text all the Cronks, tell them that the Canton Chronicle is live. Hey, guys.
Hey, John. Hi, Boozy.
What's going on? Hey, Booze. Nope. Once again, she's late.
No, she just got the mic.
Oh, what happened?
Hey, John.
What happened? She's gone. Who took her out?
You usually do your hair before you start. Were you on the motorcycle today?
I was on the bike. Went down to Westerly. Went down to go see Taylor Swift, see how she was doing, and had lunch down there, and then came back. So majority of the day was without wind in my face and no helmet.
No helmet?
No helmet.
Oh boy.
Connecticut, Rhode Island, you don't need a helmet.
It's all right. That's your
what?
thing.
It's my thing.
I'm a four-wheel kind of guy. I'm not a two-wheel. But if I'm going to put two wheels, I'm wearing a helmet.
I got some good sun. We took some nice roads. It was an accident. I realized we were only supposed to go to Rhode Island, to Westerly. Next thing you know, I see an entering Connecticut sign. I said, "Oops, I went the wrong way." So then we had to start heading south.
Yeah, it was a good day for a bike ride.
It was a good day for a bike ride. And now we're here. Well, two of us are here. The third one.
Boozy was here. She must have had a reboot.
She probably had a reboot, And that's what happens when you come in right at 7. You got to reboot everything. Right? She's probably sitting in her basement screaming at her equipment now because she's turning it off, turning it on. She forgot, and hey, Booze.
That thing, I think that finger's for you, John.
Okay. First of all, I tried entering through my other phone that I'm getting rid of. Didn't work. Try to enter through my laptop.
Rid of phones, are you?
There he goes. He's already interrupting me, Eric. Already. I'm not even in for 20 seconds.
With you. All I said is you get rid of phones, are you?
Oh, anyways, I tried my laptop, didn't work. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to sign in on my new phone, and I got to put in a new avatar. And this was one of the first pictures. So I said, F it. This is the mood today.
John, your turn.
Oh, I can talk now? It's so hard when you don't see her on the screen. You don't know, how to have a little back and forth. Oh,
there she is.
Again.
Bye.
Yep.
Hey, I love the picture with Dennis and her, but this might be appropriate today.
Ooh.
Yep. So we got a few things, folks, that we're going to go into. The first thing, and I'm going to be quick with it, what we saw at the end of the week was, and brace yourselves, I'm going to say something wild here. So when your key witnesses in a trial start changing their stories right in the middle of the trial, like they're like rebooting Law and Order, you got a problem on your hands. So I think that the defense should absolutely file a mistrial motion, even though probably Judge Canone is going to swat it away, say, no, not getting it. But it's all because the prosecution's case is melting faster than a snowbank at 34 Fairview. The witnesses, they're revising their timelines. They're rewriting the events. In some cases, someone tried to retract something that they swore to under oath. And yet we're all sitting here like, this is normal? Well, it's not. So the defense has the right to prepare for the Commonwealth's case as it was presented, not chase it down after the fact, like, got to change this. This is a textbook due process violation. At least in my mind it is. I'm not a lawyer, but, I do consult with some. This is trial by ambush. And at worst, it's an intentional misconduct, or at the least, it's reckless indifference. But the main reason that they at least have to file the appeal is to preserve the record for the appeal. You know, you plant that flag, you say we object, this is not justice. It's a circus, and someone's letting the lions testify. So that's my little take on what happened on Friday. Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday when the judge allowed them to change some of the things.
It's just more proof, John, that in my mind, after watching this for the last couple of years, the level of corruption that this state shows us every day, and it gets bigger to me, and more widespread, and something's got to give.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I hope tomorrow we see them put that motion in.
Oh, you know the motion's coming. We don't know exactly when. There's no question they're going to give it a shot. They got to at least make Bev say no.
Yep.
No, we're going to keep
Right.
going. Everything's fine.
Yeah, no, they got to put in the request. What do you think, Booze? Or she's still got problems?
I just,
I think.
I got 9-hour problems, but the Canton salute ain't one.
Meanwhile, you're giving the Canton salute.
I know.
That salute was flying today in Canton Center, I heard.
Oh God, really?
Oh.
At this?
Yeah, we
Really?
should get into that.
Well, it's sometimes things aren't as peaceful as we would like them to be.
Well, do you want to get into that now?
You can talk about anything you want.
Go
John.
ahead. I wasn't there. You tell me. You
I
tell
wasn't
me.
there
I'll sit
either.
and listen.
Listen, I'm only seeing what I see on social media, and sometimes social media, as Whitey would tell me, is a cesspool.
Right.
But no, I guess one of the local people that live in Canton for a very, very long time was walking on the side of the sidewalk, which our 2025 peaceful protesters were on, and I think some comments were made and fingers thrown and derogatory comment here, derogatory comment there. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It ended without any physical altercation, but again, we're still talking about people. I think the average age of the sidewalk these days is probably 58, 59.
And we might have an OG on later.
We might have an OG on
Might
later.
have an OG later.
We like OGs.
Yeah. Well. Let's get into this. I need my glasses because, folks, I got it right or wrong. So over the last few months, I've only been reading the super chats. I have not read any of the Kronk Venmos, and I apologize to some of the people. So I'd like to take a moment and just read a few of the Kronk Venmos so that these people can get their due. All right. Okay. Venmo VVV. Okay. All right. Here's the first one. Possibly John Conley's neighbor donated $10. Please use this money to buy a shovel so Canton can keep digging. There you go. Thank you for that.
Gold shovel.
Yeah. Paul I donated $2. Aye, Captain. You guys are a menace to municipal peace and a godsend to my burner account. Well, there you go. Thank you for your $2. Okay. Paula D donated $10 and said this is for the legal defense fund of whoever finally brings a FOIA request to crowbar Helena's locked filing cabinet. Oh, thank you for that. Alan in Franklin sends $20. Says, please tell Timmy Taylor this is not for another car wash, ever. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you, Alan in Franklin.
John, those checks been cashed?
Well, we'll get to those, right?
All
Oh
right.
God.
Those were 2 days later. This person sends $2. They love that $2, don't they? I only watch to monitor for misinformation. This isn't Chris Albert, But if it was, I tell you to stop bringing up the Legion thing. It was a misunderstanding, okay? Well, want to talk about the Legion for a minute there?
Yeah, I like the Legion.
You like the Legion. I like the Legion.
I've played a few
Okay.
horseshoe games down there.
Wait, I want to go to the Legion. I want to play horseshoe.
We're going the Legion.
Yeah, we'll
I
take
want to
it.
go to the Legion.
We're
Yeah,
going
absolutely.
Do they have cornhole?
They have horseshoes.
Do they have
Yep.
cornhole?
I'm sure we could bring cornhole.
I was gonna say I can bring my cornhole.
the Legion. Okay.
They got
You know what I
corn-
even have? You know what I even have because I love a good backyard barbecue. I even got those metal sticks that you can put your drinks in, so that you don't have to like bend over and put them on like the ground. You can put them on this metal thing, so it like puts them right next to you. You know, they're
We're
like
gonna
steaks for drinks.
We're gonna have to call ahead though and make sure they have the pricks in cider though, John.
Oh, good.
Well, I know. I can't have many tonight. I'm trying to be good because some of my viewers do not. They're not happy with my consumption. So
What are the odds that you have like a permanent guest with the name Boozy and she's not the problem?
Listen, John, the only way I'm willing to do this show is if like we pretend we're at the bar.
I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to. Say who the company is, but it's a sports drink right there. Okay. Anywho, so the Legion thing. All right. We got word. He was kicked out. He wasn't kicked out. He was kicked out. What do you say, Eric?
Well, from what I'm hearing from reliable, for what I can consider very reliable sources, he was kicked out on Wednesday, but then was back on Friday, and there was a meeting, I guess, with the powers to be at the Legion, and they have accepted him coming back in. Now, again, I'm going to take that from a very reliable source, so take it for what it's worth. I heard he was back in there 2 days later. I think you heard the same thing, right, John?
Yeah, I think we both have similar contacts. So
The thing that's concerning to me is that, from what I understand, there's other, lifelong town members that have been banned for what I would consider equally, they weren't buying minors alcohol, but they,
Right.
walked out of the place with a drink. And that person is on a lifetime ban. And I also understand that the bartender that gave him that drink or served him that drink was fired.
Yep. Well, there you go. So, folks, that's your American Legion post that's on the Canton High School grounds update. The only American Legion post on high school grounds in America, correct?
And I'm pretty sure that, nobody's going to take the liquor license away from an American Legion. So it's not like he's got that kind of
Right.
juice that he
Right.
forced his way back in.
Yeah. Let me go back. Okay. Mike Miggins says, "Do not spend this on pickleball. You know damn well they will anyways." Gail M. Please put this toward figuring out how the hell a check can sit on cash for a month unless it's a Jeep detailing refund. Well, I mean, hey, checks move slowly in Canton unless they're involving optics offices and oopsies, I guess. Right? I mean, and for those at home, right now we're at 31 days since they haven't yet to cash that $500 check from the Chronicle, from me, from all of you, for the dog shelter. 31 days. That's your government.
That's a true full month.
Yep. Let's go back. Let's see what else we got here. Melena Mafferty donated $40. This money's for the next person brave enough to tell the truth and not mysteriously retire 2 weeks later. LOL. Thank you, Melena. That was $40 from Melena. Two more. 100% not Paul, DG, and Petro. Donated $4. This show is beneath me. I'm only here because I was Googling how to get a Jeep interior shampoo out of procurement logs, and this came up. Oh, there you go. So those were the Kronk Venmos from the past couple weeks that we got that I haven't read. So I just thank you to all of you that donated.
John, I just wanted to say thank you to all the Kronks that are in chat. One of our favorite Kronks is back.
Who's that?
Jeff Williams.
Oh, Jeff Williams. What friend? What friend? Wait, Boozy. What friend?
Yeah,
Who's
you
the one
gotta
you're
you
talking
gotta
about?
read a few more.
Oh, I have to go back, huh, Jeff? Boozy beauty. That's not a good look for you. What do you mean?
I think it has something to do with the picture.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I mean, we all can put up whatever picture we want, right?
Hey, there were fingers flying in the center of town. Why not on the Chronicle?
Right. I mean, it's not like we're F-bombing left and right. So
Right.
And if we were, there's no problem with that.
There's no problem with that. We're just we're a respectful neighborhood channel.
Hey, Kelly. Kelly, I was on the bike today.
Hey, Kelly.
I bet you didn't call me.
Oh, there he goes again.
What else? What else we got going on? There's something else that Oh, I know what we're going to talk about, and we're going to bring. We got a guest. We have a guest on. So while Eric brings the guest up, I'm going to let everybody know what happened and what's going on tomorrow. So last week at the annual town meeting, right, by a squeaky 120 to 109 vote, the pickleball courts, the 650, they passed, where they're going to spend $650,000 of free cash to build 6 pickleball courts up at Pequotside Farm. But hold on to your lawn chairs, folks. It's not done deal yet because so it was Monday and then Wednesday, the town meeting. And on Wednesday, there was a citizen who asked to reconsider the vote. And on that night, usually when that happens, and it doesn't happen a lot, so maybe that's where the misunderstanding came in, they should have done it that night, on Wednesday night. They should have reconsidered it and voted. But they didn't. They punted it off to tomorrow night. So tomorrow night might be standing room only, because word on the street is Mike Pickleballer Bus Lochran has repeatedly called in the troops, wants to pack the paddle-swinging, court-loving supporters, right? Pack that house and get that thing pushed through. On the other side, opponents aren't staying quiet either. They're texting everyone. They're making phone calls. The abutters are still mad about the lack of notification, noise concerns, the questionable use of fill from the former Plymouth Rubber Factory. Yum, we know what that. People from Canton, you remember that smell. You'll never forget that smell of Plymouth Rubber. All right, so Monday night looks like it's going to be a doozy of a town meeting. So whether you're team paddle, right, or in my case, I'd be team pothole, Pequotside is going to be ground zero for their next turf war. And as we'll bring up Gail. Hey, Gail.
Hello.
Gail White. Gail
Hello?
White. We told you 7:30. It's 7:20. We're 10 minutes early, but that's okay. So
Okay.
Before we ask you, I just want to show what in my own personal view, which okay, I don't live in town anymore, but I do travel the roads. And when you have roads such as Sherman Street, right? You got this on Sherman. You got this right by the junction. Eric, you know where this is?
That looks to me like Bolivar.
What's on Bolivar?
To the left is the DPW.
Oh. We got crosswalks that look like this. Right? Where the crosswalks all patched up. You got dirt. You got rocks like sticking out on at the edge of the property. Faded crosswalk signs.
John,
But
is
you
that
want to
on
spend
Bolivar?
600. That's also on Bolivar, about mere feet away from the DPW yard. Every DPW worker drives by this. And it's one of the worst streets. And they're main streets. And so, to me, I don't care if it's a pickleball court, if it's a tennis court, if it's something. How about do your streets first? Do what you need, then what you want.
Especially the crosswalks, I'm sure that Canton PD necessarily, Helena wasn't thrilled that we were out there for standing out and peacefully protesting. But the problem is we parked across the street and people just don't stop for that crosswalk. But that crosswalk isn't, it's just like the rest of them. It's faded. There's no signs that there's a crosswalk. There's a lot that could be done with the crosswalks in Canton, I would think.
I've got a question too. Wasn't a resident just ticketed? They got a ticket in the mail for fixing their part of the road, right?
For
Imagine
paving their
that.
street.
Right?
Yep.
Like literally doing the town's job, and then that resident gets a ticket for that?
Well, apparently it's still a private road, right?
Yeah,
right?
But they spent $10,000 to do a fantastic job paving that road, and they got a ticket for doing it.
Right.
They're, out of their own money, out of their own pocket. They didn't
You can't
get
do
it from
that.
the town.
You can't do that. There's unions. The
Not a-
union people need their money.
Oh, stop it.
You just took a job away from someone.
I believe in unions too, but when the
You
town,
just took a job. You just took a job away from a town worker by doing that on your own.
well, I think they asked the town if they had any plans to do it. And when they said no,
Of course not.
they
They're
did
not-
it themselves.
Really? The guy that's given the town a whole 2 years worth of grief. You think the town's going to bend over backwards and say, "Yeah, we're going to pave your street"?
He should have submitted the bill to the town and
I
said,
know.
"Here,
There
reimburse
you
me."
go.
Instead,
All right.
instead, he gets a ticket from Helena for $50.
Well, I mean, I think there may be a bill being sent now after the ticket.
Yeah, that ticket's going to get compounded.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, Gail,
I mean, I live on Pleasant Street, and I asked for help 2 years ago just to fill in. I had to add 2 steps from my walkway so that I can get up to the sidewalk that now matches the street, which is 2 steps higher than it used to be when the house was built. So after building 2 steps, so I wouldn't be, falling into the sidewalk, I asked the town if they could just come in patch where the step met the sidewalk for safety. Nah, never heard crickets. Crickets. I asked, can you just fill in the step so that, it's not the sidewalk, it was no longer higher than, what, and they wouldn't, I didn't have the right last name or something. So there we are in October with a bag of
you know
asphalt
what your
from
problem
Home
was? You
Depot.
called the town. You should have called John Comley.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know. We'll leave it some trash, but whatever. It just didn't get fixed. It just aggravates me. It was a small thing. I wasn't asking for a road. But I mean, I can show you pictures of my house because I grew up in this house, was level with the street. Now the street's up high, the sidewalk's high, my house is a hole. And so, now my walkway just is like, 30 inches lower than the road. So I built it up to, it's town property too, so. but
Gail,
it
just
is
for
what it
those
is.
people that don't know who you are, you're a lifelong resident of Canton?
Yes.
Multi generations?
No, actually not. My mom and dad were, were born in this country, of course, but my mom was South Shore. My dad was Hyde Park.
Oh, so you're a carpetbagger.
But yeah, but I mean, I've been here since 1954, so I've been here a lot longer than some of the people, but I'm not like an Eric, my relatives weren't on the, town, it just wasn't, No, but I've been here, it'll be 71 years, I said on the 4th of July. So 71. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, I knew it when it was, Timmy and Lassie days. It's not Timmy and Lassie days anymore, or Beaver Cleaver.
No.
A lot of Eddie Haskells.
So Eric says you're an OG in this in
Right,
the
right.
in the standouts, right?
Yeah, actually, on that crappy sidewalk, I was. Yeah. Mhm.
One of 3 OGs, the original 3.
Who were the other
Correct.
2?
Carol Farwell Kelly and Kevin Colby, who I actually grew up with.
So you were the first 3 that stood out on Washington Street.
No, we stood in front of my house. Carol said to me, what are we going to do? I said, we need to stand out. She said, but where can we stand out in this town? I mean, I said, we'll do it in front of my house. She goes, you would do it in front of your house? I go, yeah, I would.
Awesome.
So we
And
did.
When
Yeah.
was that? When was that?
That was literally probably the end of August, beginning of September.
2023?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as we heard about the case, and then that was that rolling rally. And then the summer we were in, I mean, I've been in this case since the very beginning. I mean, I was on
beginning.
court the first time Karen came out with, with Alan Jackson. I was on those stairs. So, I mean, been there since the beginning of time. Mm.
You three are the inspiration for what's now become a worldwide standout awareness for the
Right.
Karen Reed movement, for the and I'm proud of you for that. It's amazing.
Thanks. We
The
did it
three
because
did a great job, and
we did it because we knew when we were doing it, no one knew who she was. No one knew about Karen Reed. No one knew anything. And we said, we got to get this, we've got to bring some attention to this case. We've got to bring out, this is in my town. I mean, John O'Keefe lived up the street from me. I mean, Chris Albert, is like, it's just, it was too close to home. And I said, we've got to do something because if we don't bring awareness to this, she could very well be going to jail for a crime she did not commit. So we decided, what can you do? What can we do? What can we old people do? And we're even older now. And we decided we need to bring awareness to, this Karen Reed situation. So we said, what can we do? We need to stand out. Where can we stand out? And Carol said, where can we stand out? I said, we'll do it in front of my house. She goes, you would do that? You would stick your neck out? I goes, yep, I would do that. So we did it, and we lasted a few times, and it was a horror show. It was people getting out, they were screaming at us and telling me it's not safe and I should go stand some other place, like in the dock at a dead end street where no one would see me. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I know exactly how dangerous and how busy the streets become. If it's good enough to sit and mow the lawn and weed and take care of whatever, it's good enough to stand out there. So we left in front of my house, we went to the high school, which again was another horror show. We lasted maybe 2 times there. We took the overpass, which didn't last too long because that became a horror show. I mean, our safety was actually being, threatened. I mean, we all had lug nuts loosened. We had air pressure taken out of our tires. One girl didn't lock her car, so wires were pulled out of her engine. So basically, we had to move off Neponset Street. We even tried 128, and was shut down by the state police. So we went back to Neponset Street, and then 2 weeks later, we were on 128, having a grand old time. But it was just, we were stopped for doing what everybody else now could do. All the other people that started the overpasses were fine with their signs. No matter what we did, the police, the local police, the next to town police, the state police would come and they go, you're fine. There's no problem. They said, you're disrupting. You're not doing anything. I said, I know. He said, well, we're Norwood, we're Dedham. That's Canton. You have any problems? You call us. Even the state troopers stopped in. It was like, it got so bad, we just moved to Dedham. That was it. And when you see firefighters going by, giving you a thumbs up, I won't even tell you, in the town, we get that too. When you see police officers going by, when you see state troopers going down the highway, flashing the lights, when we're on the overpasses, you know that you've got people that know that we're doing the right thing.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was pretty amazing. I mean, you'd get all the guys on the way to the Patriots game. They had a few cocktails, and they'd be hanging out in the bumper traffic going, free Karen Reed from the waist high. It was like John Como at the wheel, you know what I mean? That we'd been overpassing, we'd all be hanging out, free Karen Reed. It was hysterical. We'd have guys doing wheelies and motorcycles coming up to us and pulling on the back and then blinking light. I mean, people were so really receptive. And we're going way, way, way back when we know with this. And then the people that knew, they started catching on. And let me tell you, contact, waving back to a person, knowing that you see them, they see you, and that they agree with you and you agree with them, and have confidence and belief that what we're doing is right. Was really, as we did the standouts, I would run into other people from different parts of the United States, and they were like upset we only had 3. I said, hey, we only had 3. They go, really? I go, yeah, we had 3, we had 5, we had 7, we had 9. Then we had 85. I mean, we started with 3. We didn't care. 3 was 3 more than we didn't have. Then we had 5. Then we had 7. Then we had 9. Then we had 15. Then we had 20. Then we had 30. And, and the more we caught on, we started doing this, the more people said, hey, we can do this. I think Weymouth was the next one to start. Then it was Worcester, and then it went down to Bourne. So I would get on and say, "Hey, great, we've got this, we've got that," and then it just, I just can't even believe that people saw what we did, and they were so moved by what a difference that they could make by bringing exposure to the Karen Reed case, that they took it upon themselves to do things. And you know what? And you know how many people stopped us even on Ponce Street and said, "What's this about?" People would park their cars and they would come up and we would tell them. They go, "Really?" And they wanted to know. They pull on up the streets and ask, and we would give them the card, the original with the frame, like that 30-minute, like would tell the basic story. And as I said, people didn't know who she was in the beginning, but they sure the hell know who she is now.
Absolutely,
And it's
they do.
it's quite.
whole
I mean,
country does.
I
The
think
whole
back
world
we are.
does.
Oh, it can't. Yeah. I mean, look at who's
We are
tuning in.
proud
You got
of what we do, but we
Yeah.
never really thought of it. I mean, I don't know if we were so busy doing what we were doing that we never thought of the impact we were actually making. We just did. I mean, we gave up a lot. I mean, we gave up
Yeah.
our chores. We gave up our time. Not only were we doing that, we were trying to get signatures for the audit. We were going to town meetings. We were down at Michael Morrissey's office. We were back on the overpasses. I mean, it was a tremendous amount of work. I mean, you see Rita, everything Rita went through. I mean, Rita just about, it takes every bit of everything. And then the abuse that you suffer from, people. I mean, I was accused of, throwing the $100 bills up and down the street. Chris got out and yelled at me. That went all through everything. And it was never me. Never. I'm still waiting for an apology from Chris Albert for that one. But he decided to call me, no brains in the middle of Canton Center and do the cuckoo thing. And I go, okay, Chris, whatever. He had cameras at
because
that time. I guess
you.
he did.
You have to see him all the time,
Oh, please. Yeah.
right? Because you
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm. Yeah.
work in the
right
area.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to talk it, I mean, I just go and not do too much because I'm old. But my boss, I worked for her a long time ago, and she got injured a few years ago, broke her elbow and her wrist, and she couldn't work anymore. And another girl I used to work with years ago, she got dementia. She actually passed away in August. So I just go in and putz around. I clean the salon on Saturday nights. I mean, I don't really, whatever. I mean, it's not like whatever. I just basically do because she was a longtime friend of mine, and she needed help, and and I was it. So it gives me, keeps me out of trouble, but it's not, anything that's, what I mean? But I'm not there always. I mean, I just do it basically to help her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. And unfortunately, it's across the street from everything.
Yep.
I mean, the night Karen Reed was
not the
in the
pickleball
parking lot.
because not pickleball because oh yeah, that night the night you were there that night, right?
Right. Cutting the owner's hair. The lawn wasn't open. That's why I was
Why'd you
there,
tell
cutting the
tell
owner's
us
hair.
what happened?
Well, I was minding my own business, cutting the owner's hair, minding my own business. Wasn't open, and I get a call from a coworker, and there's a bunch of screaming on the line. She had just started to come to work for the salon. I didn't know anything about it. She didn't know anything. She didn't know why I was still there.
Now tell everybody where
And,
the salon is.
Yeah, it's
Right.
salon's right across the street from
Canton
D&E.
Center
Savoy
across the street.
Spa.
There you go. Okay, so you're
Savoy
working at the
Spa,
salon.
right across from D&E. Right. Well, actually, wasn't even working. I was doing my boss's hair for free. I mean, it's just I was doing her hair. So I get the call from the coworker, and she's in the parking lot, and there's screaming, horrible screaming. And I'm going, what's going on? And she tells me Karen Reed's in the parking lot. I'm like, what do you mean Karen Reed's in?
Oh my God, she froze.
She froze
She froze right
right at the good pot.
right at the good pot.
But you know
come-
what? Her camera quality is
Filming her on the
amazing.
phone and Chris
Oh,
What happened?
Gail,
you know-
Did he just
Oh, Gail's back.
calling
Gail?
Karen
What did
the word.
Gail-
And
Gail? Where's your modem? She
are you there, Gail?
Gail, we're gonna. You know what? She probably doesn't even know.
car.
So what Gail,
Oh, there
what
she
happened
is.
to your
She's
modem?
back.
We lost everything.
What?
Well, you were
We
right
didn't
at the
get
good
anything.
pot.
I know. Wow.
Because
I
you
know, it
froze.
froze.
Your modem's
I know.
probably up 3 flights of stairs.
I don't know. It was fine. I mean, I was on a YouTube a week ago Thursday. I didn't have any problems.
So
Yeah. You had a
were-
guy walk behind you,
John.
and next thing you know, it went crazy.
John, she was at the point where she
Yeah,
was
I know.
talking about what?
She was She got a phone call and there was screaming. That's where it cut out
Yes. Can you continue
Right. It
from
was
there?
screaming.
from that point.
All right. Yeah. They were screaming in the parking lot. And basically it was Denise Galvin screaming at Alan Jackson to tell him to get out of her town. It was Chris across the street with his delivery boy yelling, you know what I mean? And blocking Karen's limousine. And then let me see what else was going on. There was Karen was in the limousine with 3 of the ABC News film. Another one was with Alan Jackson at CF McCarthy's, kind of reliving John O'Keefe's last moments. And it ended up, I guess she must have got a call from Chris Albert to come down. I mean, everybody else was, down the Cape or in a hot tub or something. And my coworker went out to have a cigarette and she had no idea. Next thing she sees Karen. She's that Karen Reed. Yeah, can you give us some space? She's no problem. But then Denise Galvin come over, start screaming. So my coworker innocently said, leave her alone. Can you leave her alone? Well, that was a big mistake. She lit into her really bad. And so I started calling people, telling Karen Reed's in the park. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I go, okay, and, trying to get some help for her. And yeah. And so basically when they couldn't even leave the parking lot because, what's his name? The delivery guy, the cigarette thrower there. What's his name?
Oh, did you see all those cigarettes the other day? Someone went and picked them all up.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim
what's his name?
Ferris. Jim Ferris.
Yeah, Jim Ferris. Yeah, he was blocking the SUV Karen was in and Jackson and everything else. And so long story short, the next morning my phone rings and it's Carol. Where are you? I said, sleeping. She says, get up. Alan Jackson wants to talk to you. I'm like, what? So I call Alan, or he calls me actually. He said, what the hell happened? And I told him. He said, I need to speak to that girl and to find out what went on. I said, oh, I don't know. She's kind of, really kind of shook up. But anyways, got her. I talked to her. ABC. She called Sarah Ness from ABC News. They went over everything and they told her they had filmed the verbal assault that she went on. And as a result, I got late to the standout. And I was walking this woman that was very friendly with John O'Keefe. She was she's in her 80s. She's still involved with the movement. And it was her first time doing the standout. And as I walked to the standout to show where we were going, this black, huge SUV stopped. And the guy jumps out and he says, Karen, take our picture. And it was, Karen's brother. And then I look up and it's Karen. And she goes to take the picture. And I'm with this older lady, Terry, and 2 new girls first time with us. And she scaled, is that you? I said, yeah, it's me. I didn't know she was not. So I left her. I reached up high to touch her. She reached low out of the window and said, hey, look I haven't missed a thing you've been doing. My team had tears. My team and I had tears in our eyes when we saw you guys standing out, on the overpass. I said, we were in the rain. I said, we were thrilled because 2 nights before it was 98 degrees. We were dying. We were in front of the high school. And that's when I became aware that Karen Reed knows everything and appreciates everything that's being done for her. And she doesn't miss anything. And we stayed on that overpass.
Just watch her in court. She doesn't miss anything.
She doesn't miss.
Right. We stayed on that overpass until we were barely bullied and tortured off. It got so bad that we had to, we had some people driving by with pictures, of Karen Reed hanging out the window saying she's a murderer. And empty bleach containers thrown at us, which we didn't know were empty, but they came at us like projectiles out of windows. And the cars were tampered with. So we ended up in Dedham just for our own safety. We had to put a camera up in tripods. It got bad. It got really bad. Plus the harassment we took for standing up for what we believe. I mean, if you have a problem and you want to believe something else, then you go stand up. You go do your other point of view. But this is our point of view, and we're going to, continue doing what we think is important.
Gail, you hit it right there. You know what?
Yeah.
Both sides should have the ability to stand out and peacefully show their support, right?
Right. Yeah,
Neither side.
Their beliefs. If they believe different, then I'm not keeping them from doing that. But you have no right to bully me and tell me that I shouldn't be standing in front of my own house that I've lived in for close to, when I was living here. I wasn't always living here, but after my mom got sick, I moved, here. And tell me that I can't stand in front of my own house and do something that I believe in. So where am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to sell my house and move to another town where I can be free and do what I want? But somebody who hasn't been here for 70 years is going to tell me what I need to do. I'm like, yeah, okay. How's that going to go?
what
So
impresses
yeah, I
me
wasn't too happy.
what impresses me so much, Gail, is that you guys, you know, yeah, it was uncomfortable in front of your house. You moved to the high school; it gets a little uncomfortable there. You kept going. You didn't stop.
Right.
You
I
didn't
mean,
give it up.
the
You kept
abuse that
going.
we took, the abuse we took. I mean, the dollar bills that finished me off. But you know what? I said, you know what? That just made me crazier because I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to deserve that. I wouldn't have done what Richie Chainlink did because I know. But
A lot of us wouldn't do what he does.
when I bent over to find the bill, I had pulled in. I don't even work that day. Okay. I dropped my kid off at the vet for dental surgery. I stopped at the salon to pick something up. Actually, it was a Boston Globe article that I had been interviewed in and whatever. And just minding my own business. In fact, I wanted to hurry and get home and get my BJ stuff put away because I wanted to be available when the cat came out of surgery. And when I went to my car, it happened to be in front of the salon with my keys. I didn't even take my purse in, my groceries in. I just left everything there because I was going to be for minutes. I came out and there was I thought $10 on the ground. It's so sweet. When I bent over, it was a fake 100, and it said John O'Keefe last watch. I go, oh. So I tried to pick it up, and being fake, I couldn't get a hold of it. So I said, I'm going to get killed trying to pull this bill up. And then I had a smile, and I said, wait a minute, this is going to be something. And just as soon as I got it in my hand, I heard Chris go, what do you think, you're funny? You think what you did is funny? Now, I had no idea that when I stood back up and looked down on there was hundreds and hundreds of dollar bills, hundreds blowing all around. So we stopped screaming and told me, they're all blowing her all around, all packed under over the whatever. So he starts, reaming me out and whatever, and telling me, I have cameras and you better not be on them. Ooh, I'm afraid, Chris. Told me I had no brains. They told me I had no hair. I shave it. I go, really? I'm a hairdresser. You don't think I said it's stupid because what he said was stupid. So I got so aggravated, I pulled to the side of the road and I posted my little story up in Turtle Boy land. Meanwhile, I told the Frenches, get me some dollars. I go, no way, nut boys out there. She goes down to get him. And as soon as she's there, my post is pending. The boys in blue show up. So I stopped the presses. I stopped my post. Now I insert 2 pictures of the police picking up the $100 per request of Whiny Boy. And I changed my post. Oh, look at Canton's finest. Men in blue have to be 52 pickup. And because Chris made another Wawa call. Send. Well, let me tell you. By that afternoon, the phone was ringing. The internet was whatever. I got tweeted by that clown that he ended up dying 8 days later, he called me Miss Marlboro Light 100s. I had some other idiots telling me, oh, look, this is witness intimidation of Chris. I can serve 10 years in jail. Oh, it was ridiculous. And it was never me. But it didn't make a difference. This is how crazy these people are. I mean, if he's got cameras, why didn't he look at them? Because he didn't have freaking cameras. I mean, I don't even know who paid for his cameras he got now, but he didn't have anything. I mean, the Timmy Taylor was in our salon, and I looked at his manila envelope, disturbance in D&E. This is before he roasted his dog. So where was his cameras?
Roasted his dog.
Roast.
Yeah,
Sorry.
roasted his
You know
wiener.
what?
I mean,
Gail,
please.
Gail,
What? Yeah, so
I will continue to go down the road of I know it was an accident. He
I know,
never should
I
have been
know.
allowed to do it. It's a tragic thing, but what pisses
right. I
me
mean, I'm
off
sure he
was the
didn't plan
cover
on
up.
roasting his dog.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's the
No
cover
one
up
in there
after
gets
the
a
fact.
dog in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It happened.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the type of guy that
Right.
if he has a kid, he's going to forget him in the car, I guess. I
Gail,
hope he doesn't have a kid.
Made that point. And
just watching the chat, I got to tell you, there's a lot of people that think the same way we do. That you
Right.
and Carol and Kevin are true warriors, and we definitely appreciate everything you've put into this.
Thanks. I mean, thanks. We didn't do it. We didn't do it with any thought. We didn't do it for any accolades. We did it because it was the right thing to do. We felt in our heart it needed to be done. We were driven. I don't know what happened. It just, we needed to do something. Like I said, if you had ever said that I would be doing something like this, or Carol or Kevin, I mean, this was so unlike my character. It's not like I'm a shy person or whatever. Once you get going, it's not like, but I'm not like a town meeting person. I'm not like a political person. It's just, I'm more of a cat person and a chocolate lady and flowers and butterflies and bees
Gail,
and nature.
Gail,
And, yeah,
Gail,
whatever.
someone's asking you to tell us about the pastries and the triple medal.
The pastries and the triple
It
medal
says,
for running a half marathon wearing I said just for Joan O'Keefe and free Karen Reed that we left with Peggy. She tossed it. Well, I don't know what the heck they're talking about. Tell them
no.
about the pastries and the triple medal. Maybe it's a dig at Carol or something because I don't do
Oh.
triple whatever. I have no idea about the
Gail,
pastries.
tell them
I
about
don't know who that
the pastries and the triple. Oh, I thought maybe there was a story. Yeah.
No, I mean not for me. I don't know what they're talking about. Any pastries? I don't run any 5Ks. I got a knee
Yeah.
that's inches away from a knee replacement, so I'm not running anywhere. Maybe to the
Sorry,
bathroom
Kilwin.
once in a while, but that's about it.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
And,
So, Gail, you have any thoughts on the pickleball courts?
well, yeah, I'm going to go with the same gut feeling that I had with the Karen Reed case and Helena Rafferty and every other gut feeling that you acquire when you're almost 71 years old and you know in your heart that something's not right. And I think to put those pickle courts up at the Pequot side in such close proximity to neighboring, houses that have been there well before the pickle court was even a sport is a pretty crappy thing. Because I'll tell you, say they put that pickleball court in, do everything they're supposed to do, right? And the neighbors now have like a nightmare of noise level. It's pickleballs back and forth. Then what? Then what? Are they just supposed to suck it up and move or get hearing, put things in their ears while we're doing this for a select group of people that want to play pickleball? There's more people in here that aren't going to play pickleball than
More
that are going to play pickleball.
it might be like a 1% of the population might play the pickleball.
Right. I mean, go pick another pickle. So you're going to put this all
Go
in, right?
pick
You're gonna
another
spend
pickle.
money yeah.
Use that tomorrow,
you're gonna
folks.
spend all this money that we need to spend on other stuff like the road and not on a sport that sits, very few play. I'm not saying you can't play pickleball if you want, but why does it have to be, where everybody else is? You know what I mean? Living. I mean, when they bought I read a story long before we had pickleball that wanted to come to Canton. And this woman had a beautiful house, beautiful, millions of dollars. I don't know if it was down the Cape, I can't remember. And the pickleball court moved in. And it got so bad, she tried everything to forget it and not hear it and try to unhear it. And it went on. It got so bad, she said, I can't live here. And I have to give up my gorgeous house, my beautiful gardens. And I've got to move because I cannot stand this.
What are you
It's
doing? Midnight
pickleball,
showing?
whatever. So anyways, what happened? She tried to sell her house and nobody wanted to buy it because it was next to a pickleball court.
Yeah, that's what's
So,
going to
I
happen.
mean, I just don't think it's fair to take a chance and put a pickleball court in and then have it anger the abutting houses.
Well,
You know?
how much asphalt can we
Right,
fix
right.
the streets
That's a lot of asphalt.
$600,000?
Right. That's a lot of asphalt that I think we need to fix our streets before we put it in a pickleball court.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We've had enough screw ups in town. There's enough people we've pissed off, enough people we've disappointed, enough people that have been lied to, favors done, deals work behind the going. This to me smells like another favor for somebody that's a pickleball enthusiast.
No, well, that, and I
Well,
think it's
who's gonna build them?
John Conley had Top Golf, right?
Right.
And now
right.
Mike
And now we
Loughran
need
has
a
the pickleball, right? Yeah, I think
It's
that's
for
what it is.
what? For what? I mean, well, you're taking a chance of putting it someplace that's supposed to be used for, like, to walk, a conservation. People have gardens up there. It's not a pickleball court area. I just don't think it's in. When those people lived in their houses for a long time, some is longer than me. I mean, they didn't do it like the map didn't say, proposed street moving in pickleball courts, 60, 70 years later. And I'm just saying, I would feel better if they want to spend money on that and set them on the streets, which they should be fixing up first. They should make sure they're going to put it on a place where there's not already a bunch of people that aren't happy to have it next door to their house. Why take the chance? You're going to put it all in, and then it ends up people come back and they're screaming, and the noise is more, and then now you got a bunch of angry people that want to sell the house and they can't sell their houses, and it just why? And haven't we been through enough? Pick another place if you really want to have it. Try to.
What
try
about
to
St.
make the
Gerard's?
people in
What
town
about
happy.
that? What about down at St. Gerard's?
Yeah, someplace where it's out. You know, I mean, you can. I've been in Peakwoodside many times. I used to walk, you know, a dog for a lady that had cancer. You can look in the backyard of people's houses. I mean, they're close.
They used
You know, you
federal
got the Draper
funds
Lane there.
they
It's
use
just
federal
not-
funds
it's
to
just
buy
not good.
that for
Yeah.
passive recreation. They already
Right.
got soccer in down there. Now they want to put pickleball. I mean, you're right. Where does it end? Then
Right. I mean,
next up it'll be
pickleball
lights.
starts from-
Then they're gonna
from
want
the-
lights.
Yeah, right. They want lights. They want. I mean, my brother lives in Plainville, and guess what abuts his property? The Plainville track. They told him everything. Oh, everything will be wonderful. They were banging it this on a Sunday at 7 o'clock in the morning when you're not supposed to have any, you know, sound, you know, noise ordinances. They promised him everything, and guess how that worked out? Not good.
Right.
His orange lights through his yard for the rest of his life. It's just, yeah, it's the pits. Everything they said, they come in, they do it, and you know what? His property's not the way it used to be anymore. It's never going to be. I mean, he's got crime lights lighting up all the woods in the back of his house now that just, it's blaring into his porch. And they promised him everything. They promised him everything, and they lied. He went
Listen,
down to
people-
town meetings, and he got nowhere.
Yeah. Now
Nowhere.
listen, it's tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
So no
Right.
matter what side of the argument you're on, go up to town hall, check
Right, I
in.
think it's a good
and go
idea
vote.
that if you go to the town hall and get out and vote, it'd be nice if they publicize that other Mickey Mouse vote, so more people. I knew that was coming up, but I didn't know anything about it happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think if more people knew, then more people could show up. It's like when Chris Albert got voted as selectman, nobody voted. So all he did is he ran. They said, "You got to run, you got to run," and then his people voted. And everybody else was just driving their kids to school and,
Yep.
you know, mowing their lawn. And that's how Chris got in, because nobody voted. Well, the same thing with the pickleball court. I think, you know, if people had known there was a vote, I think more, if I had known, I mean, I would have been there. But, you know, I don't think people were aware. There's a lot of stuff down in the town that nobody, not unless you really, really follow it and really know somebody, and you don't know that it's happening. So you can't stop something if you don't know what's happening.
How about this?
Or it's being
All right,
said,
Jeff
you know.
Williams. Jeff Williams, make way for progress. Okay, how about this for progress? If you're going to be building a new middle school, right, and you're going to
Right.
have all these different fields, and I don't know what they're going to do down there for you know, recreation. Why don't you? I know they had the skating rink in between the middle school and the Hanson,
Hanson.
right? Why don't you put
Right.
the pickleball park down at the middle school?
With,
You have tennis courts at the high school. Put the pickleball courts at the middle school.
with no
Yeah, you've got
neighbors
that-
will be affected by the noise or anything.
No.
Like that.
You've got that kind of a dead spot there. I mean, it's amazing to me is the middle school all has to be done all of it's all trash. And the Dean Esler school is older than dirt and it's still standing. But the newest school that was
Oh.
built in town has to be done all over again.
Gail, I don't know if you watch, but we just got a super chat, and it says it's
Yeah.
funny. Will Theodore bought a house on Highland a couple years back. Within a week of moving in, that road was dug up and repaved. Well, you know,
Sure.
thank you for the $9.99, and I think I don't know. Let's do the. Thank you, Meatball Morrissey Skelly Stain. There you go. Okay, back to you, Gail.
Right. It's not what you know, it's who you know. If you know somebody, I mean, they were giving out horse troughs for a while, the old fashioned horse troughs.
Oh, that's
You
in
know,
Norwood. The horse
Yeah,
trough,
that's in Norwood.
one of
I like
Keaton's
that
horse
one.
troughs was stolen by someone,
I
by
would-
a
yeah,
Norwood
yeah, they just-
Town
yeah, that's
Select
a-
Board member.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I would have loved that. I mean, I grew up in Canton. There was the one here by the ballpark there. I would have loved that horse trough at the corner. I would have taken care. I would have had flowers. I would have had all 4 seasons decorated.
And nothing
I would
happened.
Like that one in Norwood at the corner of my street.
And nothing
Since they
happened
did
to
a
her
horse trough
because
today.
she's a select board member with a lot of pull. She's got a lot of money. She has a lot of people behind her, and
Yeah.
nothing happened to her. It's still displayed right there in the middle of her
I mean, didn't
driveway
they
over
have
there in
horses
Norwood.
Norwood didn't they have horses in Norwood to take their own horse troughs and move it to the end of her,
Yeah.
her property?
No,
They can't.
no.
How,
The
how did she get Canton's horse trough over
a
their
family
house?
member was doing work on a job in
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
and they
It's a
had moved the
geez.
trough. They had moved the trough
Yeah. Mhm.
for
Yeah.
safekeeping, and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Of
when
course
those
it did.
the food dogs
Yeah.
in Boston disappeared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't that convenient? A pal, this would look really nice. Next thing
Exactly
you know.
how it is.
Weren't they
Yeah.
doing some paving over in Norwood? Wasn't the Canton doing some paving for Norwood and wasn't that
Here's
going
another
on
one.
there too? Yeah.
It took one of the biggest special town meetings, right, to fight over $200,000 for the police audit, right?
Right.
And we saw all the stuff that went down at that. Then we saw
Yeah.
what they gave us, right?
Yeah.
And they
The
want
disaster.
650 for a pickleball court, right? For 3 of them,
Mhm.
right?
Right. Right.
Three
Yeah,
pickleball
right.
courts. Yeah.
Right. Right. And
Okay.
200,000. Oh, it was like pulling teeth to get 200,000 to got it, which was a waste because they gave them so much time to prepare and have weenie roast for papers and anything else they want to make disappear. What a joke! It's 200,000, right?
Hey,
to get the audit. To me,
that's Brenda's line.
yeah.
What a joke. That's
Yeah.
Brenda's line.
Yeah.
You can't use
Yeah,
that
well,
line.
anyways, to me, I knew when we got it, and they were selecting the audit company that is, oh God, just take the money, open the window, go down, 93, and just that's it on that. And now we got pickleball courts.
Hmm.
Yeah,
6
pickleball
courts. Sorry, 6 courts. So 650 for 6 courts. Yeah.
Yes, 650. Yeah, that's after we pay for a school, and I don't have any kids, and I don't have any kids, and I'm all for the future. But I mean, come on, pickleball courts now.
Right.
We haven't even paid for the new, school yet. We have roads that need to be done. We have a lot of other stuff. I mean, some people that live their whole life would like their sidewalk to meet, their steps,
street.
and just a
Yeah,
little
you'd
bag
like-
of asphalt.
Even that's all people are asking for is basically fill the need first, then do the wants.
I mean, no one told them to build the street 30 inches higher than it used to be.
There's
So
a
now
sinkhole.
our
There's a
houses are in a
sinkhole
hole.
in the middle of there's a sinkhole at Bolivar and Crane.
Oh, please.
Literally,
It's a sinkhole on Pleasant Street, too.
yeah, literally,
Which they let go,
they've
which they
poured
let go.
so much
They let it
material
go.
down
You know
into
when
the
it got
sinkhole.
fixed? You know when it got fixed? I called it a gas leak. Okay, so evidently nobody else could smell gas, and it was fixed. Then they came in, like it was in the winter, and then they came in to fix it, and there was water break under the road, and they knew it, and they kept filling it up. They kept filling the road up, and every bottomed out when they scrape out their cars, they come fill it up. Finally, when they get in to replace the gas lines, the gas companies, what are you doing? We can't get here, and there's a friggin' water, and they knew it. They let all that water run under the ground, which made the street, Pleasant Street, sink. When it sunk low enough, they put more tar on it. Okay. And then when somebody complained that their muffler and their the car was scraped, then they'd fill it again. And this went on. Meanwhile, all the water was running between my house and the house next door, flooding the backyard. Because now their driveway was uphill to match the street, and it went down. It was like a slide. And then it's going. I'm telling you, there's something wrong. Plus the fact that my neighbor buried a swimming pool. This is the best one. They buried the swimming pool in the liner in the backyard. And when I told a Canton person, happens to live on Dedham Street, what they did, he told me, you didn't see that. I go, really? I said, maybe if they didn't bury the swimming pool and the liner in the backyard, and instead of taking it out, the plastic liner. So what happens when it rains, the water doesn't go down. So then I got the water from the street coming with the broken water main that's under there. That's just whatever, making the street drop, which only get fixed when the gas company in. And I've got the swimming pool and the liner buried in the backyard. And when I told a town official about it, he told me, you didn't see that.
You couldn't
I
get
mean, really?
you probably
Look
couldn't
the
get
other
a
way.
pothole filled.
Look the other way.
I
Yeah.
saw it. I saw it. And the answer was, you didn't see that. Really?
Mm.
So, whoever buys that house has a swimming pool and the liner in the backyard. I mean, I'm pretty sure that wasn't legal. But, what am I supposed to do? I tell them, and they just told me I didn't see it. And I was going through a cancer thing, and I didn't really feel too good, and I didn't have the energy to fight. you know, because I was kind of feeling pretty sick. And, you know, that's the answer I got. So I guess when the Karen Reed thing came up, this is something I can do something about that they can't tell me I can't do, then I got to not see. I see it, and I'm going to say it. And, you know, I mean, maybe all these things that have happened through me, after a while, you just get fed up and you decide this is something I think that I can do something about this, and I'm going to do it, you know? And I guess that's what drives you, you know, to do the things you do is the past treatment that you get in the town you're living in. You know, I mean, that's why, you know, when certain people have things happen to them in town, they don't feel safe to call the police because, as I said, you know, there's some good police officers and there's some connected police officers. And I'm not such a townie that I know who's good and who's bad and who to trust. And
Gail, you know who's good? Gail, you know who's good?
What?
You know who's good? Richie Chainling Schiffer for giving us $9.99.
Give us fucking McDonough, and we'll go easy on you.
Thank you, Richie
Yeah,
Chainling
I mean,
Schiffer.
Richie Chainlink, he's special. Do you know, I saved one of those. I only had one of those fake $100 bills. And I decided to order on Amazon a beautiful acrylic, it looked like a dollar-shaped ice cube. And in there, I was thinking to frame it, but then you wouldn't be able to see both sides. You know, Colin did it in the back, and Justice, you know, John O'Keefe last war. And so I ordered that, and that thing came, and it took me 3 times to open that snappy magnet to place that dollar in, and without it getting tilted, it almost took my fingers off. And I was so sick with a sinus infection. I rolled out of bed when Richie finally beat the wrap up at court, and I said, "I got you a little something for Christmas. It's something you don't have." Oh, thanks. I go, no, you need to open it. And he looked, and he went, and he never saved one of the dollars for himself. I said, so here's a little memento. Now I don't have one. He has mine, but I figured it should go to his rightful owner. It'll match anybody's decor. It's see-through. It can see front, back, and go sideways, up. It was a great thing. And I'm just glad I was able to give it to him. Because I said, you ever save one? He said, I never did. So that gave me an idea. I said, you know what? I'm gonna frame one for him. So that's what happened to me and Chainlink. And, you know, he gets me in trouble. You know, doing whatever he's
Gets a
doing.
lot of people in trouble.
And Chris is more than happy to, the photographer, pretty, well-known photographer over at the Denham Court said, even if I didn't know this comment was from you, I would know it was from a woman because Chris Albert always has plenty of mouth when it comes to talking to women. You know, guys,
Give us fucking McDonough, and we'll go easy on you.
you know, I wasn't like shaking in my booties with Chris, let me tell you. So, because I knew I was right. I knew I did nothing wrong, and he was a jerk. And he's still, I'm waiting for the apology. So for all those people that blamed me and said I was a piece of crap for picking on that poor little Chrissy, I said, well, you guys all owe me an apology because it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I got accused of a lot of stuff that I didn't do. You know, I mind my own business. I have my own beliefs. I do what I want to do. I never picked on anybody, you know. But see, when you're losing, you got to get dirty. We're winning. And when you win, you can play fair.
And Gail, also remember too, Chris is a grown-ass man. Like, for anyone to say that anyone is bullying him is kind of asinine because especially I think the last 6 months, his true colors have shown. You know, there's more eyes on them. And I know I hear it all the time, Gail. You know, you're not the only one to be like, you've had certain examples and instances with Chris Albert in particular. So now that there are more eyes, we're seeing more and more video footage of him acting like this, even to the fact where, you know, he had that apology at the select board meeting where he said he wasn't going to act like this anymore. And how many more instances since then have we had?
I mean, you don't have incident. You don't hear of those me doing stuff like that.
Right.
So, I mean, every time you turn, Chris has done this, Chris did this, Chris did that. I mean, I've lived here a long life. I mean, not to pat myself on my back, but I get a pretty good record from being a decent human being. And I never, I never started anything with him. I mean, I didn't even tell him off the way I should have told him off on the side of the road that day, because it's like, why, but when I got all the idiots that decided to gang up on me because, oh, look at this, Gail, is mad because she lit it in front of, Chris's store. They don't even know what they're talking about. It wasn't even me. I'm mad because I get yelled at by Chris. I mean, they're so desperate to try to get something on a decent, good person here in Canton because they believe in Karen Read and her innocence, and they want to frame her, and they want to get their people that killed John and go on their merry way. And I'm sorry, but we're not going to let that happen. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that Karen goes free, and John's legacy deserves the truth. And if they don't like it, that's too damn bad. That's the way it is. Like I said, I was on that YouTube about a week ago, and I said, OJ got free too, and we all know he did it. How was his life afterwards? He was never the same. His friends dropped him like a hot potato. He ended in jail. I mean, he was alluded to do what he did.
The difference is he may have done it, but he was still framed. Karen didn't do it, and she's being framed.
Right.
Well, we all knew when they said, sorry, go ahead.
But also, too, if you think about it, OJ lost support. How much support has Karen gained, even in the last year?
Right. I mean, because we know OJ, probably did it. You know what I mean? Karen didn't. I mean, all the facts point to the fact that Karen do it. I mean, you drop John off. You're sitting in your car on your phone. You put the dome light on. Somebody comes to pick his sister up and says he sees Karen in the car by herself. Well, where was John? So she ran him over, and then she let him sit there for a few minutes before she backed up at a high rate of speed so that maybe somebody could see him. It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
sorry,
I mean, and then she backs away to look for him. I mean, she backs up to look for him, and you can see her tap his car slightly. And as she drives away, the back tail lights not broken the way it was after a trip to the Sally Port. And then, how long did that hold?
Gail, you can see Gail, you can see the chats right under you, right, when they come up.
Yeah.
Okay, just giving you a heads up. When the ones that actually give us money play, that's why I play those little cuts.
Oh yes, yeah,
right.
That's right.
Okay, so,
John,
that's when you got to take your breath.
This isn't Gail's first rodeo. I think she's seen us before.
Gail, that's when you take your breath.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm not doing anything. I'm not like, I'm just like, I watch them. Come on.
You got some lungs.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Hey, well, it's good. It's good for fighting for people. It's like, it's like, cheering.
All I want to know is we've been on this show, since January or so?
Uh-huh.
What
took
took us so long to get Gail on?
If I knew, I mean, I could have run up and grabbed. I could have done my hair for the show. I could have let her start the show for us.
Right. You could have come in,
and I could have had my hair done. I really could have done it.
You could have had Gail do your hair.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm not prepared. I still don't have my Canton Chronicle banner up. Right. I have the flags because you got the freaking Canton Chronicle banner.
The banner's right next to Boozy's jacket.
Right. I wasn't prepared for the four of us. So the screen's all over the place.
No, you're all over the place.
I'm all over the place.
Well, at least I'm not sideways and the volume's on. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Like Whitey.
I know my last name is Whitey, but
Gail, I'm predicting that this is going to be the highest rating show we've had, and it's not because of the host and the co-host.
Not because of me, because I barely said anything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as I said, I did a YouTube about a week ago Thursday, and I guess I had people from all over. They just loved me.
Gail, Jeff Williams loves you. Jeff Williams wants you to run the show.
I'm just a regular person. I mean, I've got feelings. I've got emotions. I think I'm pretty much an honest person. I think I'm a decent person. And if I believe in you, I'm the person you want to have in your court because I will fight for you to the end. That's just and that's just the way I am. I mean, if once I believe in you and that's it. I mean, you got a friend for life in me. And as I said, I don't have a lot of friends, but the friends that I have know that, how I feel about them and I just try. I mean, not that I try to do the right thing. I'm not perfect, but I do try to do the right thing. I try to think the right thing. I try to, just I don't know. As I said, it's got to be in you. It's got like a driving force, and you don't plan on it. It just comes out of you. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's just me. It's just the way I roll. What can I tell you?
One thing I know about you, Gail, is that since I've met you, and we met through all this chaos. The one thing I know about you is that you love this town. You love Canton.
Yes, I mean, yeah. I mean, I as I said, I mean, I grew up here when as I said, we used to, like I was saying on YouTube, my mother used to ring the bell at night when it was dark to come in. I mean, I used to get pollywogs, eat my peanut butter and sandwich and pick rhubarb on my bare hands and
I
sell
loved
it to my
rhubarb.
neighbor. Yeah,
Loved
and
rhubarb.
if you want to buy it, she bought the whole thing for 25 cents, and I went and bought. And then I went over to the store and bought 5 candy bars. 5 candy bars for me and my buddies. We used to go down with the houses and we used to get the nickel and the 2-cent things and ask the guys building the houses if they want us to walk to the store for them. So they'd give us money and we'd walk forever in the construction site, get Simpson Spring bottles, and they'd drink the whole thing down. And even better, they'd give us the bottle afterwards. And I couldn't have drank a bottle of Simpson Spring like for 3 days, and he would just drink it down, and he'd give us the bottles. And once we found somebody's false teeth, we brought them home, and my mother, wanted to put them in our mouth. My mother boiled them. We tried to put false teeth in our mouth after my mother boiled them, and we didn't realize teeth don't fit on top of teeth. So either somebody lost their teeth at the building site, but we were all psyched real little. We put those teeth in our mouth, and it wasn't working because you don't put teeth on top of teeth. So if somebody lost their teeth, I don't know how you can lose your teeth when you're building the houses down on Lincolnshire, but they did lose their teeth. But that's the things I remember. I mean, I was with Kevin Colby. I mean, we were hanging out of trees. We were eating rhubarb, eating sour pickles for a nickel at the corner store, coming in at dark when your mother would ring the bell. Every hour on the hour, the dump was on fire. We'd hear the fire trucks. I mean, those were the good days. My friend started sinking in quicksand. We had a call. I had to run through the woods and get the fire department and lead the guys in. He was up to his knees, up to his thighs. And by the time they came and found him, he was up to his chest. We tried everything. We were skinny little Dennis the Menace kind of kids. We tried everything to pull this kid out of the quicksand, and it was pulling us in. And, so I said, let me go get help. But I had to remember where the hell I was, so I'm going through the woods, remember this tree, whatever. And then they came in, all these firefighters, and just pull that kid out with their rubber boot, but if we weren't there, he would have disappeared. No one would ever know what happened. These kids nowadays, they're soft. They don't even know what quicksand looks like. I mean, we lived in the, tough, quicksand. You got to be careful with quicksand. It was pretty scary, but I mean, those were the good old days. And that's what I would kind of like, the kids here in Canton to kind of live in a town where everybody's not, making fun of them for living in the town. You're from Canton. Oh, God, you're from Canton. Well, I'm sure every town has Everton, but ours has been brought up so that everybody kind of knows. And but I mean, as I said, we didn't spend any time indoors. We were outside in the fresh air every single day.
Gail, do you ever do any skating on the reservoir?
Oh, skating on the res. Once I got this bright idea. It was a windy day. I'm on the res, right? And it's blowing me I just stood there and it blew me. I said, I'll go to the other end of the reservoir, not knowing it goes to 138. Finally, I said, this thing never ends. So now I got to skate back against the wind. Oh my God, I got legs like olive oil, right? I'm so far across that was. I mean, I'm going I'm standing on those skates and it's just flying. Oh, it was great fun until I had to come back. I'm like, I don't think I was going to make it. I could still be out in the res if I didn't go. I said, that was a stupid, I was just a kid. I didn't know,
Live and learn, live and learn.
Live and learn. You live and learn. Oh yeah, was I on the res? I was down at Klein's. In between, you go that clear, that ice crystal clear in between those swamp knots they had there, and it would crack.
The what?
You feel like you're those clumps of grass that used to grow in the.
What did you call them?
The swamp clots. You know what I mean? Yeah, those clumps of grass that grow in 2.5 feet of swamp water. But of course, you're going over, you think you're going to be over your head, and you're skating through those because the guys have got the whole, Klein's pond for skating. So you got to skate with your little white girl skates in between the clumps. Now, years later, my father got the dinosaur from the Sportsman Club. There was a sportsman show in Boston. They were going to take Dino and disassemble him. So he called up Ted Kleins. He said, "Hey, Ted, you interested in having Dino?"
Hold on, Gail.
Yeah.
For those that are listening, the dinosaur was this ginormous dinosaur that was on an island right next to Bolivar Field, across from Bolivar Field. Now
Right.
keep going.
Yeah, it was a giant.
Dino.
I'm not talking a little thing. It was huge.
No, it's huge.
It was huge, huge. So now you get this little swamp, like, that we used to skate and, to cook potatoes over fire. And they used to call Mrs. Kleins and ask, "Is Johnny down there?" Like she's supposed to know if Johnny's down there. This is how it was back then. Tell Johnny to come home for supper. So now they finally got so bad with the kids showing up and the parents wanting to know. They said, "We can't, this is like if something happens, we'll get in trouble for letting Johnny drown out with whatever." So they substituted the kids skating with Dino. So this Dino was like huge. I'm talking huge. So they bring him in. My father had a rigging company, brings him in the back of the trailer. And I don't know how they bring this swamp monster way out there. And they rig him up and people be driving the road and they thought they were smoking too much, whatever. And they look, and there's this big Loch Ness thing, right?
Loch
But the
Ness
kids were still
monster
talking
looking
about
like,
it.
yeah.
It was huge, and it stayed there, and then they painted them, and then they did some refurbishing until I talked to Alan until he started to rot. And so they had to take Dino down, and but if you knew anything about Canton, that was quite the spectacle there. And there was many, many stories until I got on Everything Canton and had to set the record straight, exactly where he came from, how he got there, what happened to him, how many years he lasted, and he came from the Sportsman show in Boston. And that was it. That was our proudest moment. We had a prehistoric critter here in Canton, but
It was like
and
a
that's where he came
brontosaurus
from.
of some sort. I think it was a brontosaurus.
He was, I don't know. It was,
Like
big.
out of the
But I mean,
Flintstones. It had the long neck.
yeah, it's
right?
a long neck. Yeah.
Yeah,
When you
it
think
was
of
like a-
dinosaur, it's either drawing like that or the one with the
No, it was a
pointy thing.
brontosaurus.
Yeah, it was great. It was big, and you didn't know. You'd go up and many people would drive by and didn't see it, and then when you did see it, you're like didn't expect. I mean, for a minute you thought it was real, and it caught everybody by surprise because I'd say 50 people would go by and only 10 would see it. Because if you weren't looking out, or as I said, but these are the old stories that go way back that made Canton, and it made it it made it a great place to live in the 50s and the 60s, and we made our own fun. Money was tight. Parents didn't take the kids out to eat. If you didn't, if you wanted to go someplace, you either had to walk. Your mother was home with you. She didn't have a car, and you made your own fun, and we made all right. And we learned how to, to save for something and not expect to get something for free. If you wanted something, you worked and you saved
Gail,
it.
do you remember angled? Do you remember the angled parking in the center?
Yes, I remember everything. I remember the A&P. Yeah, I remember everything.
The Burger King, the Burger King at Cobb's Corner used to have like a whole area with trees and everything inside it. Like they had a whole rainforest in there.
It was just, it's funny. You forget, the Mammoth Mart days. The mall was closed and it wasn't closed. I remember when there was no mall there. It's just, I remember the dump fires every hour. There was a dump fire. I remember we used to go dump picking and now we've got, it all set up with the solar panels. As I said, I used to.
I remember going to the dump. I remember going to the dump and all the
we used
seagulls.
To go to Greenbrook. Yeah, we used to go to Greenbrook and we picked up all the bottles. That's what we did on the weekends. We rode our bikes down and we got all the bottles from when they were building Greenbrook. We got bottles and cans from every construction site. Mostly it was bottles, Simpson Spring, and that's how we made our money. We would, we'd go and we'd, it just. I'll never forget they had a tractor trailer that stopped on the famous tracks there on Pine Street, and it was filled with school supplies from Manco. And everything was pouring out. So we got our flexible flyer, little, cart, the push, the cart there, the one, the wagon. So we come home and it's snowing. We get our little wagon and we come down and we start loading up all Manco school supplies. The cops are letting us because it's just going to be an insurance claim, right? We thought we were going to unload the whole tractor trailer. After about 5 trips in the snow and the soft planks up to my house, we said, okay, that's enough. I had construction paper up until high school. You know, whatever's in that thing was in our wagon. And the cops let us take it. It was great. I mean, those are the days. I mean, kids nowadays, they wouldn't go and get that because mommy would just buy them. You know, we had pens, pencils, construction paper. What it was in the back of that tractor trailer was an Army little PF4, you know, that little red wagon. And and of course it was snowing that day, so that made our job harder. But we were, you know, we were driven. And as I said, I had construction paper up until my high school, and I was only a little kid doing that. But yeah, so it was a great, you know, a great time to be a kid. And I said we were outside in the fresh air, and you know, my mother would make popsicles out of Zarex and maybe put a little fresh lemon juice and
Zarex.
Love
Zarex.
Zarex.
Yeah.
And there was those godforsaken fizzies, those awful fizzies that who knows what chemicals were. It was probably baking soda or Alka-Seltzer for children getting used to hot, you know, stomach problems later in life. But the old Zarex, and she'd make little popsicles and, you know, pick the popsicle sticks in the ice cube tray. You pull that thing out, you had little
Zarex. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
a great idea.
and make our own little popsicles. I mean, you didn't go into the store and buy popsicles for kids. Your parents made them. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, you go back and these kids nowadays, I mean, they got everything. I mean, and it's a pleasure to do it, but unfortunately, they don't learn how to have to wait to want something, you know what I mean? Which I don't know if that's such a good thing. I mean, it does your heart good to see them get stuff, but I don't know if that's always a good thing to do, because when times are tough and if kids don't learn how to be patient and how to earn their own way, how are they going to survive when things aren't so rosy? I mean, that's what I'm just saying. But, you know, I appreciate everything I did. I mean, we didn't have a lot growing up, but we had enough. And it was great. We had a fun time and we made our own time. We're out in the fresh air and we just, it was a great time being a kid in the 50s with Beaver and Dennis. Beaver Cleaver and Dennis the Menace and a few Eddie Haskells. It was great. It was a great time. And I totally enjoyed living in Canton. And I enjoyed it so much, I'm still here. You know? So, I mean, not many people can stay. I mean, I was in Plymouth for a while and I was different places, but when my mom got older, I came back with my mom and took care of my mom till she passed away in 2018. And it's a great place to live. It's convenient to everything. And
it is a great
it's a great place to live. I mean, you know, so yeah. So that's it. So that's what I did, and that's why I'm still here, and that's why I'm passionate about what I do. And I just hate to see, you know, something happen in town that we're stuck with that we can't undo, that we paid a lot of money that didn't work. We got enough messes. We need to take care of what we have, fix what we have, and spend our money wisely and make sure that we do something. It doesn't aggravate the good people that already live here. They shouldn't have to give up something for somebody else to gain something. They shouldn't have to suck it up and get used to it. It's not right. You know what I mean? The old people in town, they made the town what it is. It's nice to make room for the young people, but don't forget the old people here. You know, we're the ones that made the town what it was. And, you know, we don't need to be forgotten now that we're getting older and we're not earning the big bucks and stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm such, you know, a fan of trying to get some decent senior housing for people that still want to live in the town, but can't afford to keep their big fancy house and, you know, and try to keep the people that made Canton in Canton, you know, when they get older, and not all about the new people coming in. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm old, you know, nobody knows how long we're going to live.
You're just seasoned.
Yeah, I'm just seasoned. I mean, nobody knows how long I'm going to live. Nobody knows what's going to happen to them. You just hope you have enough money to live in Canton until you die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, it's just, yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah. So, anyways, well, I don't know. I'm just hoping tomorrow night when I go for the pickleball league, I'm hoping that more citizens in Canton get up, get involved, pay attention, because, you know, you need to say something and do something before something's already done that you don't like, because then there's no going back. There's money spent, and it's just Pequot Side's such a nice little place to hang out, and I just would hate for it to be ruined with a pickleball court in the middle of it. It's such a nice place to walk. I mean, there's not a lot of places in Canton where you can just park your car, be with nature, and and get away from it all without spending money. It's nice, and it's a pretty safe place to walk too, I'd say.
Oh, Pequot Side, as far as I'm concerned, Pequot Side is like sacred ground.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone out there. I've seen, birds and eagles and hawks and, and I enjoyed walking through the people's gardens up there, seeing what they're growing. And it's just a nice place. And the DPW did some nice job on some of the paths and putting some, clearing the grasses when they grow in the summer, so you can continue to walk paths through there. And I said, if I didn't have somebody's dog, I would never have known, because I don't have a dog anymore. But I used to take the dog up there. It's a little tiny dog, and they loved it. And it's a nice, place where you can get close to nature, get out of the hustle and bustle of things, and not have to spend money to go there. And and then just to have it ruined with the constant noise. I mean, I feel bad for the animals nearby when you got a pickleball court. They don't have a choice. We've done so much building here in Canton that, I'm getting critters in my yard that I never had in my yard before, because they've got no place to live. But that's another story for another day. But it's nature's.
You feed those critters.
Yeah, not anymore, because I got rats from my bird feeder.
All right.
Yeah, my bird feeder brought rats, because unfortunately I have a neighbor who has chickens. So, and I don't have a problem with chickens, but chickens bring rats, and I got rats from my bird feeder. So now I can't feed my birds anymore.
Chickens bring rats. Chicken brings foxes, coyotes.
Yeah, I had a lot of fox. It was great, and they had a big red fox with a little black charcoal fox. They would be running through the yard. It was great. I don't have a problem with fox. I had possums. I had a stray baby raccoon that I had for like 2 years. I mean, I wasn't picking him up, but I was taking care of him. He was an orphan. He was very young. And I knew it was him because he only had one back leg was a little smaller. And an interesting fact is a mother has raccoon has her kids, what I mean, a little raccoons or whatever you call them. And the next season, the males take off, so they don't breed with their mother or their sister. So when you see the same coons coming back, it's the mothers and the daughters coming back. The sons are taken off, so they don't mate with their mother or sister, and that's how nature takes care.
Just like to say one thing to Anne Marie.
It's always the women.
Yeah, I mean that's why you don't need a blood test to make sure you're not marrying your brother. Nature takes care of it for you. Nature does the right thing. They make the men take off, so they're not mating their sister when we're getting screwed up raccoons. And I've had possums, and I've had a skunk. I had to have euthanized. I watched him, and I didn't want him to freeze, and he had neurological problems. So after like the whole summer watching him, I brought him to New England Wildlife and him euthanized. I had to hold him a few days because no one was there. It was a holiday weekend. He didn't spray me. I couldn't believe it. He did not spray me. I picked him up. I actually gave him a bath, pulled ticks, fed him, and kept him comfortable. But I didn't want him to suffer. It wasn't like I was looking for trouble. He just showed up my bird feeder. So if you're cold, starving, freezing, and hairy, show up in my yard. I'll take you in. Watch out, John.
That sounds like you.
Pretty much. Cold, you're hungry. Just sit in my driveway when it's like 35 below wind chill factor and stare up at my light. The next thing you know, you'll be in the big house. Because that's how I got Leroy in, because he did that 35 below wind chill factor. I'm like, oh my God, Leroy.
You'll be in the basement.
Yeah, in the basement. He was in the garage with a heater and a elevated dog bed. I got on by nothing until I could figure out and see if he would blend with the other cats. But at one time I had 13 cats all rescued from the hood. Some neutered themselves too, which is pretty amazing. I had a little cat. Her ears fell off from frostbite. She was dumped out, spayed and declawed. And her ears fell off, right off. That goes, they're going to fall off. They did. So she lives in a 3-floor farmhouse. But, I didn't ask to have all these, but I felt bad. So they would show up freezing cold. Next, I took another fur ball in. But I'm trying to cut down because I'm getting old. And it's money. It's money and time to take care of these. So, I don't know. I know this guy's asking to get room. Yeah, it's like, yeah, believe me. What can I tell you? I can't help it. If something's freezing cold and starving, I have empathy. I've always had. I mean, I save my bees. I hardly use any insecticides. It's like I save spiders. I took a spider out last night. It was on my counter. I didn't kill him. I brought him back out. Why should I kill him?
Right.
You know?
I don't do that. I
mean,
don't do
I'm
that
not big on
either.
Hornets. Hornets, I'm not, and earwigs are not
Yeah,
my
they-
favorite, but everything else I pretty much save. But that's I mean, yeah, I took a few extra stuff, but why should I kill him? He wasn't hurting anything. He has a right to live. Granted, he's only a little spider, but you know, he
Right.
didn't do anything to me, so I'll
Right.
transplant him. I mean, what's the big deal?
Yeah,
And
put 'em
people, "Oh, a
outside.
spider is a spider."
Except for snakes.
It's a spider. Big deal.
Snakes. I don't. Yeah, those are different.
John,
I don't have a
I think
problem
you
with
owe
those
us some
either.
super chats.
I do. And people, I have not forgotten about you. We'll just hold off on a few of them because we will answer those questions. A couple of the super chats are questions that we'll answer later on in the show. So I didn't forget them. We will.
You
We'll
start them
get
for
to them.
later. All right.
Well, because they were questions, not comments. So they're starred. So we will get to them. All right, reality. Don't worry. We'll get to them.
Yeah, they probably had enough of my pollywog stories anyway. So
No. I mean, I
You
got a
know,
lot.
never
I
get
got a
one
lot
of
of.
those.
I got a lot. We got to have you on more often.
You know,
Right. Oh my God. There's her first sip of water. There comes next.
it's not water.
She's just.
Not
Oh.
water.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's water. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
I can't keep up with you, John. If I did
No,
what
I'm
you
good
did, I'd be
tonight.
on the floor.
I'm good tonight.
I'd be with my, I'd be, talking to you from the floor.
Yeah, we
I-
just want to
I-
make sure you take a
I'm a
breath.
lightweight in that department. Lightweight. Yeah, it's not my thing.
I
Chocolate
am very
is
good tonight. I've had one. I just
good.
opened the second one, and we're an hour and 32 minutes in.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
well, as I said, everybody's got their thing. Mine's chocolate and cats. So
Yeah. I mean, my thing is I'm just going upstairs and going to bed. I'm not driving. So
right.
I don't
Yeah,
see
you
what the
can do
problem
whatever
is.
you
I'm in my basement.
No,
I'm not in the attic. I'm in the basement.
John,
If
right.
that's something you like to do and you're not driving and you enjoy it and it doesn't become a problem, then you should do whatever you want. I mean, that's,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I probably eat more chocolate than I should, but it's
Brandy,
just like
you're
there,
fired.
It's,
Brandy, you're
whatever.
fired. You can't get it back. There's no getting it back.
Uh-oh.
So-
Was it a
yeah,
good comment?
I know. We don't even know. She
You
deleted it.
deleted a
But
comment. How do I
you
get
know,
it back?
nobody's perfect.
I know.
We're not firing Brandy. It's just not
No,
going to
we're
happen.
Are you yelling at my Brandy?
No,
Not
I was
gonna happen.
firing her.
Oh no, me and Gail gonna beat you up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
Gail. So you're going tomorrow night, right?
I'm going to be there tomorrow night.
You'll be there
Definitely.
tomorrow night. All right. Well, 7:00.
Last week I had a timing belt mishap. I had to finally break down, do timing belt. It
Oh,
was time. And
Gail.
it wasn't right. And it went back and basically I didn't have a car for like 4 days.
Do they
And the week
check,
before was braked.
when you bring it in for
It's beautiful
service, do they
now,
check
but-
your lug nuts every time?
Well, actually they didn't put one on after they did all my brakes. So they told me they put it on. It's no, you didn't, because if you put it on, you would have, put the cover on, where you put the air in, that's missing too. It's like
Mm.
everything you got to do, every time I have anything that I don't care where I go, have the, tires balanced, they got a problem putting lug nuts back on. They got to, if they put air in, they have a problem putting the cover on the air. I don't know what it is. Every time I get anything done with tires, I have to walk the car and go, where's my lug nuts? Where's my whatever?
Yeah.
It's, then you got to go in the next day, an hour and 20 minutes and wait till they put the lug nut on it and put the cover on.
Mullins, you're next. Mullins, you're next because we're talking about cars. So, Gail,
Yeah.
a couple days ago, I waited. Me and the dog wait at the front door for Mullins every night when she comes home, right? And then we watch a half hour of Judge Judy and go to bed. Well, I was staying home the next 2 days, so it wasn't like I was waiting, but it was almost midnight, and I get the call from Mullins saying I'm almost home, but the truck is shaking violently, and I'm like, oh my God. She goes, I don't know if it's a tire, I don't know, whatever. So I jump in the car and I head towards her, and she get off the exit ramp. We switched vehicles, and I drove it back. And I checked the tires. The tires are fine. And I'm like, oh my God, rear end. It probably needs a new rear end. Or I thought universal joint. Maybe it needs a. The next day I was home, so I climbed under there. Couldn't find anything wrong. And of course I'm YouTubing everything, and I'm asking everybody, and I'm like, who knows? Because I always used the auto clinic, Canton Auto Clinic on 138, right?
Mhm.
And well, I don't live right down there anymore. Yeah, I'm down the other side of the state, so I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to the guy in like 2-3 years. So I finally realized what it might be, and it was literally, I decided yesterday on my own I was going to change the spark plugs, and it was a bad coil. Well, 3 of the spark plugs you can change so easily. You don't have to. It's a Dodge Ram. So 3 of the spark plugs, no problem. The other 3, you got to take half the freaking engine apart just to get to the 3. And so I did it, got them done, put everything back, started the truck, and it ran even worse. Shut it off, went back under. I forgot to hook some of the little wires back up together, but hooked them all back up. Got in. Now I got to check engine light. And I'm like, oh my God. So I did a couple other things, and it ended up working out great. But I thought it was going to be like a $600-700 bill at some mechanic that I've never spoken to in my life. It ended up being $150.
Can I ask you a question? When the spark plug comes out or is not putting right, I was on, well, at that time it was 128 south, heading down to Plymouth where I lived, and the spark plug being loose, and it sounded like a metal rod through the engine of my car.
Ooh.
And I had to be towed. And they, yeah, it was
That's
horrible.
not good.
It sounded like a metal rod came right through the engine, and I just pulled to the side of the road, and I had to be towed. So I don't know. Is that because the spark plug was out, or it was terrible? It was like, as I said, I don't know.
No clue. Mine was it was a what are you talking about? I'm not an ADD rant about cars. Gail's the one that was talking about her car and lug nuts and tires and all that stuff. That was the beginning of it. I thought there was a tire. I swapped her back tires needed replacement. That's how I started with it. Sorry there, James. God forbid I talk for 1 minute on the show. Jeez.
Well, that's, I said, I know enough when the timing belt, if it's not right, you can take out your engine. So, and when I call them, they were right here. I will say they came right to my house to check in, and something wasn't right. I couldn't really out of what something wasn't done right. Something wasn't hooked up. Something was missed, but it was whirring and it was pinging, and it's like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. You know, it's like when my alternator went. You go down the road and all of a sudden your headlights are going on and off, and I just knew. So I get out my Google and I go, okay, it's my alternator. The guy goes, how do you know? I said, because it's my alternator. Right. So, yeah, but it's smooth now, but it's, you're at the mercy. You don't want to be down on a dark road someplace and, something falls out. I mean, I was down in Plymouth and I told my boyfriend at the time, something smells, or you're crazy, right? So he goes to work and I open my hood and the dipstick falls out. They never, oil's all over the engine. So I called him up, but who's the dipshit that didn't put the dipstick in? I drove from Canton to Plymouth and oil was all over my engine. Needless to say, I didn't have any oil in there either. So now they tow the car from Plymouth back to, I won't tell you where it was. It wasn't Canton, it was the next town over. But if I hadn't said something, they would have been, big problems.
Chain links.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you get Stoughton? Yeah.
Well, you said the next town over, and there's only like 3.
Yeah, but it could have been Noel. Could have been Randolph.
Could have been Noel, Sharon, Milton.
But you know what I mean?
Randolph. Could have been Randolph.
All over my engine. It just, when you drive down all that and there's nothing to hold, it just splattered everywhere. And I had no real oil. I mean, thank God I stopped. Ping, ping, no oil in the engine. You know what happens with that? Not good.
Yeah, not good.
So, I mean, this is somebody, right. This is somebody that tries to do the right thing, but I'm not in there and then doing their job for them. So I just try to, read what I don't know, check what they do, make sure when they put stuff back, all the parts are there. And it's just, yeah, I know. I've been to O'Reilly. They put a battery in for me. They've been great. They put windshield wipers on. They're, they're pretty good. I really like them, but I wasn't going to use them for a timing belt, unfortunately. Yeah, but I've been to O'Reilly's. I like them very much. I've had pretty good luck. I've actually brought people there too and said, hey, this place really good. The girl comes out and puts these difficult, windshield wipers. I don't know how to get them on. They look like whatever. I even have guys try to help me. They're like, put it upside down, sideways. And I guess when you do it all the time, you can just slide those bad boys on. But it's like, it's just so nice to go in. I had a battery replaced. They just, came in, put a new battery in. And I had my battery done. And then 5 months later, my battery's not good. And I had them check it. But, batteries don't last 5 years anymore. Maybe you can get 3 years out of them. That means you got to start checking them in 2 years. But, you try to do the right thing. No one wants to be stuck on the side of the road, especially now with all the weirdos out there. But, at least you got cell phones now and, you get AAA and, we just hope that, the right person shows up. But you try to take care of your vehicle and do the right thing. And you hope the people that do it are doing their job and keeping you safe. It's not a good way you want to go out if your wheels come off because they didn't put the lug nuts on and you don't check the car before you get in, but it's happened, so.
Gail, I want to ask you a question, and
Mhm.
I know you don't like to express your opinion that much, and you're
Yeah,
very
right.
introverted
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
there's a a company in Canton on Walpole
Mhm.
Terrace that
Mhm.
may or may not have asked the town to repair the street, and when the town may or may not have said no, they went and spent $10,000 to repair the street themselves.
I think I know exactly. And then they're going to seal coat it too and make it a beautiful.
And they're gonna
town.
sell to make it look, and from what I've seen so far, it looks fantastic. But it was
So what's
money
the
out of their own.
problem?
But with the
Right,
problem,
so,
the problem
It
is that
showed them up.
the
It
chief,
showed them up.
the chief sent a certified letter with a $50 ticket in there. I'm just curious. I mean, you're a lifelong resident.
How to make more friends. You know why? Because it showed them up because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. It showed them up.
They
Okay.
could have left well enough alone, but instead they wanted to,
No, because that's because that's so childish. You've got somebody doing their work for them, money out of their own pocket, and then they're giving them a ticket. It's not about it's beyond that. It's deeper than that. They got a
much deeper
bone to
than
pick
that.
with him.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got a bone. So anything they can do, but she'll be going bye-bye pretty soon too. So she decided to retire.
Well, it's
Sure
not
she
just her, obviously. There's
It's not
other
just her, but no, it's a whole little chain there.
Yeah.
Chain of command. It's
We're
not just
gonna get
there.
to some Helena talk later in the show, maybe.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's a whole bunch of, like I said, it's a whole Dead Poet Society.
To quote the Norfolk District County DA, it needs to stop. It really does.
Right.
It needs to stop.
It needs to. We need to have a town where we can trust the people that are running it.
Absolutely.
And right now, we don't have that. There's people that get favors, people that get permits, people that get building deals, people that get their hands, it's obscene, and it's been happening a long time.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is very frustrating because, as I said, when it's like, when a little person takes up it's like trying to be into the Godfather. You know what I mean? And what are you supposed to do as a little? When I was told you didn't see that. What am I supposed to do as a woman? This was years ago. When a town official tells me you didn't see that, what am I supposed to do?
Or you got a select board member who is buying alcohol at an establishment in Canton for minors, gets banned for supposedly life. Yet you've got another Canton town person who, they did something wrong. They bought a drink and they took it out and they left the facility and they got banned for life. From what I understand, they have not been allowed back in.
There's rules for certain people and other rules for. It's just probably because they spend so much money down there. You know what I mean? It's just like, I know a lot of people that they drink at these places, the VFW, the AMVETS, and they pull some winners, and next thing you know, they reprimand them, but then they know that they're in there every night and whatever, and they'll let them back in. It's like, what a joke. I mean, if you kick somebody out, they should be kicked out.
But not
Period.
for nothing.
If you did the wrong thing,
But even think about
you
it, Gail.
shouldn't be letting them back in. Huh?
No, he is so lucky he only got booted. He should have gotten arrested. I know, granted, it's Canton PD, and Canton PD is not going to, arrest a select board member.
No, but I mean,
He should have gotten
problem child's been drinking underage for years. It was probably in with his mother's milk.
Oh,
There was
Gail,
probably beer mixed in.
Gail, please. We all know the kids drink with the parents. We already know this.
Right.
And that's, that's not exclusive to them. That's that's kind of the way things happen now.
Oh, not for everyone,
It wouldn't happen in my
Not
house. It
everybody,
wouldn't have
but
happened in my house. I mean,
You
but
know-
if you want, if you're like 16, 17, you're having a cookout and a kid wants to have a beer, I'm not saying that. I'm
There's-
talking about, starting your kid at 12 and letting him go out and come back and do what he's doing. And he's, and he's getting
Well,
in trouble.
I think the trend now is, all right, why don't you have your friends over here, have drinks? We know you're not driving. We'll take care of everything. You may be 17, 16, 18 years old, but we'd rather you do it here than do it at the pits or wherever.
Well, don't you remember the family that did that? They had a party and a kid drowned in the pool.
I know.
Yep.
Not the parents glad that they were their kids' friends instead of their kids' parents. So because they decided to become their child's friends, their buddies, and let the kid drowned in their pool because they were their children's friends and not their children's parents.
I'd still rather that scenario than having the kids.
Oh,
out
I know, but the
drinking
thing
and
is,
driving and all that stuff.
Right. I mean, but the problem is, why can't we just wait and tell the kid, no, when you get older, you can drink. You don't need to drink now.
Exactly.
Because
I
if
don't
something
disagree
happens,
with that,
I'm
but
going to be financially responsible. I mean, God, you know what I mean? What is it? Find something else to do. I mean, I know a lot of people like to drink, but you don't need to drink it at 15 and 14. You don't.
And the issue,
Because,
like,
you do stupid stuff.
but not only that, like, I can understand the parent being like, they're safer here drinking with us. But at the same time, there's people, there's parents supplying the kids this. There's kids are having
There's
full up
parents that are
bangers in the
home.
backyard. Like, we're talking
The kids
full
are
up
downstairs.
parties,
The parents are upstairs watching Netflix.
It happened
Kids are
40,
downstairs.
35 years ago when I was doing it. So it's nothing's changed. So let's
Right.
be
Well, and
realistic.
you know what?
about it.
And you're lucky. And you're lucky that, if the parents let that nothing happen, because guess who would be held? Guess who would be sued?
Yeah,
Guess who would be financially held responsible? Your
absolutely.
parents.
And if something happens, you're taking the risk. You got to know that
Well,
going
when
into
you
it.
were a kid, I mean, I'm older than you, but we used to sit on the back of the station wagon with the wood panels on, all of us, and ride down the road with our legs hanging off the back of the car. Was that a bright idea to do?
Well,
One-
I
you know,
think
one
the
person-
difference is that the parents would rather you probably at your house versus down the end of Green Lodge, where it's craziness down there when you got
Right.
a
Well,
bunch
I'll
of
tell you,
kids
there's a lot of
partying.
parents that wouldn't let you do it at their house. There's a lot of
Oh,
parents
there's
that would
plenty
not
that
let you
won't.
do
I'm
it.
just saying there are some that would rather have.
And
At
I'll
least
tell you,
they
if you
have
don't think-
control of it.
a lot of kids would rather go to the end of Green Lodge because they get no parents around and they have nothing to answer and knows what else you're doing. I mean, there's a fatality down the street with me because the girl was drinking at Peakwood Side with some loser that was driving her car that daddy bought, and they rounded Fencourt and he didn't make the corner and she got ejected and she got her head crushed.
Yep.
And she died down the street because she was drinking in a car that daddy bought her. If she had to go to work and buy her own car, she wouldn't have had time to drink at Peakwood Side. She had this loser drive her car, which she didn't pay for. He came by my house at a high rate of speed, went down, didn't make the corner. She was ejected and caught between her, like a retaining wall. The driveway goes under the house, and her head was crushed and she was killed. 10 houses down the street. So now she's dead because dad bought her car, and she let a loser drive it. And she was drinking at Peakwood Side. I mean, I was working after school. No one bought me my car. I had to walk to work for a year and a half before I got my money saved up since I was 6 years old to buy my own car. So when I got out of school, I was working. I wasn't drinking at Peakwood Side. I had a job to do. And then when I got through, I had homework to do. When somebody doesn't give you everything, you want something, you have to spend time earning the money to buy it yourself. But when your parents give it to you, Then you're sitting at a house party the weekend before Thanksgiving, drinking, kicking rabbits around because you got nothing to do.
Yep.
And you got nothing to do because mommy and daddy gave you everything. And now you're
true.
bored.
It's true.
You're bored. Give me a friggin' break. You know? And then you got the coach standing up for them at their football banquet going, oh, they're sorry.
Yep.
The coach shouldn't be making excuses for them.
Gail.
You know the whole thing.
Gail.
What? Good thing I don't
So-
have kids.
So this is what
My kids
happened.
be walking.
Gail,
Gail.
this is
Kids be
Gail.
Well, what?
This is what happened, okay? All of the parents that were involved, whose kids were involved in that house, got together. So it wasn't just one. It wasn't just one person
know, it
that
wasn't just
paid it
one.
off. It was all of the parents whose kids were there got together. They all agreed to make the homeowner whole. They paid it. So
Yeah.
now these kids all know that it's okay to do this, and
Mommy and daddy will pay for it.
mommy and daddy will
Wait.
pitch in and pay for it.
Listen,
But hey,
I
hey,
want
John,
mommy
no,
and
no,
daddy-
no. Before we even change subjects, we need to speak
What?
about the head honcho. Who was one of the parents of one of the kids?
Lank
Lanka. Exactly.
And-
A Canton
and
detective.
Chris.
listen.
Yeah,
I don't-
see,
I don't-
Chris,
I wouldn't have a problem giving the kids a little bit of a break, but I also think that maybe they should be part of the fixing the house. Make them
right,
work
and I
for
think
it.
that maybe they should get a job to pay the parents
Yeah.
No,
back.
they're not.
for the
They,
money
no,
they get
that's
to
not
pay.
how it
Go
works.
do some work at that house and fix that house.
No, they're not going to do that. It's
Well,
just
you know
easier
what's
for the
gonna do the
parents to
job?
pay
They're
it
gonna
off,
do
make it go
everything
away.
else.
Make it go
Half-ass,
away.
half-ass.
Right.
Those kids
And you're
never had
right.
to do anything in their life. Guaranteed, those kids had never have to work or do anything in their life. And after a few minutes doing, they're tired, they're bored, they got to sit down.
Yep.
You know
You
what?
know, and you know
what?
I agree with what Tailwind just said. I would have got my ass beat. I had a
Yeah, we
single
all would have.
mom. I had a single mom as a mother, and she
Right.
yep, same.
Yeah, I mean, you did that, you wouldn't be. First of all, I never would have dared to do what they do. Never would have even dared to do what they did. Never.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't in
Right.
me. That's not in me. It's not something I had to learn. That's the way I came out. I came out as a person that wouldn't have done that in the first place.
Right.
I wouldn't.
Right.
And if
Well,
I did make
I-
the mistake of hanging around with somebody that did that, that would be the last time I hung around with that person.
My parents would have made me own it, and one way or another,
Right.
they would have
That's
made
right.
me
Own
make
it and eat
right.
it.
Whether,
That's
whether
right.
it was,
Own it and eat
whether it
it.
was punishment at home and nobody knew about it, or it was
That's right.
fixing what I made a mess in the first place.
That's right.
Jeff,
That's
Jeff Williams, I finally agree with you. I finally agree with you on this one. Yeah, they should have done community
And-
service.
and you
Instead,
should have learned-
one of them, let's see, was drinking at the Fours across from the garden. Before the
not the fourth.
no, that
Nope,
was the
nope,
brother.
nope,
Sorry, not
no,
the
nope,
Fours.
nope. It's the fourth floor of the greatest bar.
There you go.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. So
It's,
You know,
I don't know.
it is
It's
what it
just-
is.
I don't know. I mean, is there any hope for these kids? Is there any hope for these kids to grow up and be a decent human being? Or are
Yeah.
they just going to be screw ups and get
no,
somebody
they're
to
going to
fight
make
their place
excuses
to
for their. No, they're going to make
Yeah,
excuses.
excuses for the rest
So-
of their life. They have loser kids, marry a loser wife or a loser husband, raise loser kids, make excuses for them, cover them up.
Right.
And then get on a witness stand and
It's
say, oh,
certainly
yeah,
not helping the
mommy
kids.
and daddy, I'm home.
No.
I love you, and go to bed. Yeah, right. Huh? Aggravating.
So-
Just
One,
aggravating.
one lie after another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It makes you sick. I mean, there's so many good kids out there, and there's so many losers.
Right.
And the losers come from loser parents.
You said it.
And it
Right there.
snowballs.
You
Loser
guys-
parents
you guys-
and loser
You
kids.
guys heard it right from Gail.
Yeah, and there's decent kids in here. There's decent kids that go to work after school. They have a single parent. They have to save to go to college. They get a used car. They do everything. They make it work. And then you get these clowns that are given everything and they don't even appreciate what they're given. And then when they screw up, mommy and daddy cover up for them. It just, it really, really
Gail,
bothers me.
it's called bad parenting.
Right. It's bad
Absolutely.
parenting. And then parents, want to give the kids everything, but they don't want to give of their time.
Right.
You
So
know?
Gail, I got two other things I want to get to tonight. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want to give us? Give us your closing statement. What in
Well,
under
all right. My
10
closing
minutes.
statement is this: if you cut kids that are a jerk, fix them. All right. Do the right thing. Clean up their act. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
be a parent. Stop being your kid's friend. Make sure your kid's gonna be something and do something. Okay. Show up tomorrow. We don't need damn pickleball courts
That's it.
in Peakwood.
That's it. Show up
okay?
tomorrow night. Be there
Show
for
up-
7 at
Show up
Canton High
tomorrow
School.
night,
Keep showing up.
and let's spend their money on something we need. And if
Right.
pickle courts are in the future, let's put them to someplace where they're not going to aggravate the abutting neighbors.
Well,
Okay,
like
we have
Canton High
enough
School?
of it. We made enough people crazy.
High school, middle
Dumb.
school.
middle
yeah.
school's good.
There's tons of other spots. They should have researched.
Someplace where it's
They should have
further
researched
away
it.
from the residential
There you
home.
go. Right.
And then I will feel safer about doing it. I know that, it's no skin off my nose that they put up at Peakwood side, other than it's going to look gross. But what about the poor people that live there?
There you go.
I'm still going to come forward and go whatever. That's being kind of selfish, though, isn't it? Just to think about myself. I'm not going to hit the pickleballs where I live, but that doesn't mean you could just be not thoughtful of the people that are up there. Sometimes it's thinking about somebody else besides yourself.
So, folks,
Believe it or not.
keep in mind, it takes 2/3 of the vote to get this reconsidered. So
Right.
show
Right.
up. Show up.
Right, show it up. And I'm saying pickleball courts are in the future. Fine, then let's put it in place where everybody's happy, so we don't build them, and then find out it was a big mistake, a big costly mistake. And people are down in the town hall, the town meeting, screaming. You said it was going to be quiet. You said it's going to be this. I can't sleep. My kids are up. It's you know what I mean? I just feel like it's a nightmare. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just something doesn't feel right, and I'm old enough to know. Usually, if my gut tells me something's not right, it's not right. And sometimes I poo-pooed it and ignored it, and guess what? I was right. And something about this just does not feel right. I don't know if I have a crystal ball or something, but I don't know how you guys feel, but I just don't think this is the
Something
right.
stinks in Denmark.
Something stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't-
I mean,
don't
I don't
All
smell
right.
know.
So
guys
Gail,
feel about
Gail,
it.
next time I
Yeah.
call you, you'll come back on, right?
Sure.
All right.
I will.
All right.
All right.
Gail.
Well,
Gail, thank you so much.
I gotta go take a nap now because I'm old. No.
Thank you, Gail. It-
I'm
we
a
had
fan.
fun.
I'm up at night. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for having me on, and I'll probably, have more people calling me and telling me I stink now.
No,
You're
no,
the best.
we'll have you back on. Everybody
All
loved
right,
you.
guys. Take it
Next,
easy.
Everybody
next
loves
time,
you.
next time you come on,
Hey.
though, we want to see the other OGs.
Yeah, we'll bring the other
I know,
OGs on with
I
you
know,
next time.
It would have been such a great show. It would have
There
been
you go.
such a great
We're
show.
gonna make that happen.
We will. We'll make it happen, Gail.
I know we gotta, because you know what? And they're good people.
They're
We
great
it's great. And the stories we can tell and the people we've met. And it's just, think about the friendships that have been made from
Well, you
standing
can tell us on that show.
overpasses. It's
You can
great.
tell us
It's
on that
wonderful.
show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gail.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank
You're the
you.
best.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.
That was Gail. That was Gail, folks.
Gail's awesome.
Yeah.
Love Gail.
Gail, you can wave all you want. They don't see you. Only we see you. Gail's backstage waving.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
John, we get an audience.
Oh, man.
Don't forget. Gail pumped up the audience. Don't get me wrong. They're all fired up on the edge of their seats right now.
She's good. I moved her. Yeah.
Listen,
good.
I'm taking credit for Gail.
That's
I
all on
brought
you.
that all to you.
Now, we got two things left, and I'll let you choose which one you want first, okay?
Go ahead.
Do you want to talk about something that happened at the police station, or do you want to talk about something that could be happening at Town Hall? Which one do you want first?
That's a coin.
Town
flip.
Hall or police
Do
station?
you have a coin? Can we flip?
Town Hall.
I think we need to end. I think the police will be more of a banger because I think more people want to hear about the banger. So do Town Hall because Town Hall is a little more low key. I'm assuming. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm going to defer to Boozy.
All right, we'll do Town Hall first.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
call.
So up at town hall. Okay, everybody, you heard it here first.
Uh-oh.
All right, we might not always be right, but we're gonna be first.
Stop it.
It seems like the T up at town hall is telling us that a certain someone might be just wheeling himself into the select board chairmanship.
Ooh.
Boot, wheels, and all.
Boot wheels? What does that mean?
Boot, wheels, and all.
I don't get it.
Well, let's see. After a year of having the select board meetings run from his dining room, Mike Loughran's reign of remote responsibility might be no more.
Oh,
J.A.R. 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 J.A.R.
So Mike's biggest accomplishment in the last year, his two biggest accomplishments. One was Zooming for a year, right? And then two is trying to force through these pickleball courts. Meanwhile, JR's in a walking boot. He still shows up to these meetings, right? He's not doing it on Zoom. He's talking to people, right? So if I had to bet, my prediction is on Tuesday. So Monday is town meeting. Tuesday is going to be they will vote in the reconstruction, reconfigure, whatever you call it. I think it's going to be JR.
I second that motion.
So you heard it here first. J.R. McCourt will be your next chairperson of the select board. That's that. Take that. You know what? Take that right down to Twin River. Take it to Twin River.
What are we betting it on?
2-1. 2-1 odds.
All right.
Yeah.
Little craps, little blackjack.
Yeah. So now let's end it with, once again, let me pull up the picture. I'm sure some of the people who, and don't forget the chats, we will get back to you, or the super chats. Let's just put this up. Some people may have seen it, right? Let's find where it is. What happened?
Hold on 1 second, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got a question from Kim Robinson, and it's
Who's
who is
JR?
JR? And JR
He's-
McCourt is the guy on the select board that every single time he gives a vote, if it's not a 5-0 and it's close, he's going to give you the explanation on how he came to that decision, how he came to that vote, and you're going to know very clearly what's up. You may not
Trish
like.
does it- hey,
You may
Trish
not
does the
like.
same
I'm
thing.
not saying Trish doesn't, but
Yep.
JR's the townie guy. And not saying Trish isn't a townie, but JR's a townie. But the bottom line is you're going to get an explanation and an understanding of how he came to that vote, whether you like it or not. But I can appreciate the fact that he's going to give you the answer as far as how he developed his decision.
Mhm.
And you don't always get that from everybody.
Right. No, it's gonna be JR. You heard it here first, okay? We broke it. We broke the news. It's gonna be JR. How's that?
John, nothing.
By the way,
I don't want to burst.
don't
your
forget,
bubble, but
still 31 days and counting. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
that prediction that was like a, you were predicting the
What?
favorite. You were predicting the favorite.
I'm telling you right now.
No, that
JR
was
is
like-
gonna be the.
That was like
I'm-
it's like
you know
predicting
what?
the secretary.
I'm telling you right now. I have been the first one to put it out there. I beat all the papers and I beat all the other YouTubers. It's JR.
Oh, is that what it's about now?
No.
I was gonna get
All
really
right.
disappointed for a second.
We're diving back in to the Karen Reed saga. This is what we're ending with. All right.
I'm in. Ooh, look
I'm
at
sure some people have seen this.
that. That looks like a. Listen,
Why? Why? We don't want to watch Vienna sausage fingers. Come
John,
on.
is that an abscess?
Oh, really?
Is that an abscess?
I don't know what that looks like, but that's the right hand, right?
Looks like empatigo.
No.
Yeah. That's the blurry surveillance image that was tucked away by one Canton Police Chief Helena Rafferty.
No, she wouldn't do that. Not gonna
She
happen.
put it. She kept it in her drawer like it was a holiday scratch ticket.
Like it was her favorite pair of underwears.
Yeah.
Jeff,
this is
Jeff's
this is
like,
what was on that sticky note.
What?
No tampering. LOL.
LOL.
LOL. Right? Because withholding that evidence tied into a man's death is just that funny. Right? Police chiefs making jokes while someone's no longer and the and someone else is on trial. Right? That's well, we think it's Brian Higgins, right? It's his right hand.
What do you mean we think? We don't know.
Well, some people think it's someone else. I think it's Brian Higgins. Right?
Who else could it be?
Could have been Albert, but the more I watched it, like you guys said, the more I watched The Gate.
Yeah, you
think
got to
it's
watch
Higgins.
them walk.
Right? That's the one that accessed the what corridor did he go upstairs to? 227?
The 227 corridor?
The 227 corridor?
How does that happen?
I don't know. So, I'll give you the Cliff Notes. They had this footage the whole time. It shows a potential physical injury. They didn't turn it over in the first trial. The chief handed it off only after things got hot with her sarcastic note, LOL. Right? It's just stonewalling. And you guys think this is a fair trial. I don't care. Like I've said before, if she did it, she did it. If she didn't, she didn't. Make it friggin' fair. Withholding that wasn't fair.
John,
It was obstruction.
I've had enough of the if she did it stuff, though, because
She didn't. But
she didn't do it.
you know what? You gotta, you gotta say it.
No, 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 no,
No.
no.
Oh, them fighting words, especially when you got the two of us on here. Oh no.
Listen, I don't know who did it, but what I do know is Karen didn't do it. So
Exactly.
let's just end it right there.
There's still been no word on this. How does that guy show up at two different times and there's nothing, there's no reason or explanation for it?
Because they're sloppy.
I think it's the guy that took the taillight out.
Windless?
No, that guy looks
I
too
do.
heavy.
No. Wears the same hat.
They all wear beanies.
They all wear beanies. They all wear beanies. So let's get through the super chats. Answer some questions and call it a night. Because we're not marathoning tonight.
Oh, it's because you're not drinking.
Probably.
Yep.
All right, let's get through them. And I know I've already shown some of them, but we're gonna put them up there again. It's funny. Will Theodore bought a house on Highland Street a couple of years back. Within a week of moving in, then the road was dug up and repaved. Strange how that works. Yep, strange. Richie Schiffer loved Gail. He always my girls. Yep, there's Richie Chainlink. Reality check. Thank you so much. Sometimes people can't fix what's going on in their own lives, so they try to help where they can for other people. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, right? Let's go with, it doesn't help that the town public workers are full of families with no education on how to run infrastructure, a.k.a. the Bogue family gigantic house on Pleasant Street, and the res has a gate causing traffic. how much money Bogue paid. You know what? I'd have to look into that for you, but I didn't know the giant house on Pleasant Street. You mean the house that Prestige owns? You know what Galaxy Girl was saying, but send me a text and I'll look into it. All right. Karen already said in a text to Higgins, I know how you cops are with the cameras. So why would she have done that in front of Brian Albert's house? Well, she didn't. Right? She didn't. Here's another one from Reality Check. Please answer this question from every single person on the panel. That means you, Boozy. You got to do something.
Excuse me.
Who would
I have
you
been
pick?
busy all evening, just not with you.
Who would you pick for the closing? David Yannetti, Alan Jackson, or Alessi?
Who's going first?
You guys
Booze.
go first.
No,
Fuck
Booze
off.
is going first. Booze
No.
is going first. Here we go.
No, you guys
ahead,
go
Booze.
first.
Posey, I'll take it from you.
All right,
Thank
got it,
you.
Eric.
So I'm torn between Alan Jackson and David Yannetti. I think they have two different styles. I like them both. And Yannetti's got that look on his face that just, you know, when he says what he says, I'm all in. And the guy's been there from day one and deserves that opportunity to lock it in for Karen.
Okay. I think it's David Yannetti.
Why?
She didn't say why. She just said, who would you pick?
You have to say why.
I'm
I don't have to
asking
say
why.
why. It doesn't say why. She just says,
Exactly.
who would you pick?
Listen,
No,
why
I
don't you
like-
go
Okay.
put your helmet on.
I like Alan Jackson's cross, and I love David Yannetti's like open closings. You know, I just like it that way.
100%.
It's just how I prefer it. And I love Alessi.
And
I love Alessi, but you know what it is?
Who walks into a courtroom better than David Yannetti?
Oh my God. I'll never forget that one. When they walked in on that other court
was
and they
awesome.
just sat there. That was,
He was so mad.
gangsta.
He was
Yeah.
so mad.
All right, Booze, you're up.
So Alessi won't do any openings or closings because his thrill is, you know, beating experts down or up, whichever who he's speaking to. So it won't be Alessi. As much as I love my Californian Poppy, he already did opening. And as much as I adore my Boston boy, everyone always forgets about Liza Little, and she is the brains behind every single motion.
Yep.
Every single motion you guys see written out is Liza. So I feel if she could practice her sussiness, because I know it's in there. She's got the body yada yada. I know the voice is in that too. I feel like Liza Little would be so fucking good at a closing, and I
Of
think
course,
she
the girl
no,
picks the girl.
because I think she would fucking shock every single one of you, including all of the men. Fuck you,
Well,
John.
John, you know what else I think? I think Liza would go to Matt Kelly's with us.
Yes, you would.
Absolutely.
Yes, you would.
So would
love Liza.
Yannetti. Yannetti would too.
Oh yeah. I mean, but shit, Liza would raise her hand right away. I'm in.
Yeah.
She
All right,
is
but-
the
all right, but-
unspoken hero of everyone. You know what I mean? Like that's why when AJ is doing all of his motion readings and he looks over at Liza and Karen, because Liza and Karen are like the go-tos, which is crazy to think that the defendant is like one of the go-tos too, because usually they're not. But Karen is so in tune and so fucking smart that she knows specific dates and times. Like, did you see when Alessi was doing the whole hanky pinky type of stuff? And he walked over to Karen to get the specific times
Mhm.
of the data. Like the fact that a defendant is that in tuned in her case is
Oh, she
so
would make
rare.
an unbelievable lawyer.
Oh my god! But even just an advocate too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liza Little. I want to see Liza.
That was our playground, Eric. We were always at Pequot Side from Anne Marie. Thank you, Anne Marie.
Anne Marie, that was our back. That was all of our backyards.
Reality check again. What happens to Canton after the trial's over with, win or lose? There'll be some a lot of. There's gonna be this one side's gonna be right, one side's gonna be wrong, and people are going to have to eat crow, or people are gonna have to apologize to people.
I don't know about that, John.
Someone's gonna have to apologize.
I think they're going to pull the old, even if she's found not guilty, they're going to say, oh, well, they tried, but, you know, they had the right person. Bullshit.
Yeah. Hubert, thank you for the entertainment, Gail, and all your stories were great. Also for caring about cats and other creatures. 1 in a million. No, she's not. There's a ton of crazy cat ladies out there.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Gail, I love you. Oh my God, that was.
Oh, he's
that
going to
was-
dig himself into a
I'm
first-
teasing.
First
Oh
you
my
go,
God.
of course a woman goes with a woman, and then you call us crazy cat ladies. Really? Give me the power of the channel and see what happens to your channel. Gone, John C. goes. Goodbye. You are.
Listen, we're not trying to make this bigger than it really is.
You really are, though. Eric, don't
Boozy,
stand down.
Boozy's trying to take over.
People, don't forget, 31 days. Check watch. Hopefully, it gets cash tomorrow.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to lie. I'm still impressed.
Would you tell us if you were?
So what's that?
Would you tell us if you were going to lie?
Yeah, if I was going to lie to you, just
Right.
straight up say, hey, this is going to be a lie.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I got to tell you, we had a great guest today.
Of course. we did.
Agreed.
She's unbelievable.
Agreed.
Let me get that off. Sorry.
Agreed. I would like
No.
to see more boots on the ground. I want to hear their thoughts, not just in chat, but like up here. I want to see more boots.
I want Gail to run
We
for
could-
governor.
We could bring more boots on the ground in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
me
Yeah.
too.
We should probably start with their we've got somebody with a wrench that's a solid boots on the ground. We haven't had,
Yeah. How
Brandy,
divided is Canton? What do you think? 70, 30, 75, 25, maybe?
I think it's getting closer to 90-10.
Yeah.
I was about to say it definitely feels, especially after Sue Harrington, it feels different.
Well, I think you're getting people that voted no for the audit who are now saying, well, we really did need that audit. Whether we like how the audit company performed or not doesn't matter. They just agree that we need the audit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it showed a lot.
It did
lot.
show a lot. And if you're paying attention and you've been watching, you can poke holes in it all you want. At the end of the day, they showed enough bad stuff, even though they didn't want to show you all of it,
Right.
to know that it was still money well spent. I don't care what anybody says.
Boozy, you want to do the closing?
They wouldn't want me because it'd be full of F-bombs, and apparently people don't like it when I swear. So there's that.
And you'd have all the pictures of all the kids. Let me just tell you.
Listen, this is the reason why when there's certain people that say they're from Dorchester, I go, yes, you get it. I'm not angry. It's just my vocab. I can't help it.
My God, I had 117 comments fly in just on that question on who should do the close. I'm like trying to scroll through them all. Oh, hey, Mizzy.
I made a very good
See?
point about Liza
Jeff-
Little. So many people.
Yeah, no, I don't see a lot of support for the Liza Little comment.
Yeah, you
I
just
see a
scroll
lot of
down.
Jackson,
Scroll down.
Jackson.
Keep scrolling, buddy. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm scrolling up, not down, because there was so many that came in there for that.
A young jury is going to relate to Eliza too. That's right, Beth. That's
Dave-
right.
yeah, David Yannetti.
You didn't remember who you are speaking to.
David Yannetti.
John,
So
Screenshots,
yeah,
photos, timeline, fucking everything. We have a Bravo person in here. And you,
I miss my
hedgehog.
Bravo. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that took a huge backseat to all this trial stuff. My Bravo.
Oh,
I don't know how
you
many seasons
wanna
of Below
catch up?
Deck I've missed because of this trial.
Oh, I'm way behind on Below Deck, but I'm
Ugh.
up on my I'm up on my Housewives.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I mean,
Okay,
Vanderpump. Maybe some. I've also missed
What do you
Vanderpump.
say you watch Bravo and you don't watch Housewives? Literally,
Nah, I don't
what
watch it.
made
I don't know. I watch
Housewives.
all the Below Decks. The Below Deck Sailing, the Below Deck Mediterranean, the Below, all of them.
Listen, Linda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go.
That's it. That's my guilty my guilty pleasure.
You're guilty conscience.
It's my guilty pleasure, and I haven't even watched it since this trial started.
You have the weekends.
No, I know. I got my motorcycle now.
yeah, he's lucky.
Yeah.
He's-
Went down. Oh, we were down in Westerly,
What's that?
Rhode Island.
Oh.
But
Isn't that
how'd
where
you
she is?
how'd you end up?
Isn't that where Taylor
Connecticut?
Swift is?
Oh, is that the rich part?
Yeah.
Taylor lives in New England.
Yeah, she lives out like her house is blurred out on Google, just like Tommy Kelleher's and 34 Fairview is.
Oh, you know what they
but
tried to
can-
do though? You know what
Yeah.
they tried to do to her when she moved in because that wasn't going to be her permanent residence? They tried putting in a Taylor Swift tax. So anyone that wasn't going to spend over a certain amount of time at the house would have had to pay extra tax, and it was basically ruled unconstitutional. But they literally called it the Taylor Swift tax in Rhode Island.
Bozy,
Oh my God, who could be the Real Housewives of Canton?
Please put Jen on, and I want to see
I
the
can see
transformation of her tooth.
Jen, Julie, Jillian.
I'm staying out.
She's
of
not
this.
married. No, this isn't bad. This is
My
nothing
list
bad.
would be totally different, so I'm gonna stay out.
I'm
Oh,
just-
your
wait a
list would be
minute.
different. Well, here's the thing.
How many?
Housewives-
How many are in the? How many in the Housewives?
No. Housewives are always cast so that they will butt heads.
Yeah, but how many?
So
6?
Okay, first of all, you need to have Jillian because she's gonna butt.
How many are on the Housewives show?
And Jillian's not allowed in the Discord,
All
so
right,
put
hold
her
on,
in.
Hold on,
and then
hold
put
on,
Jen.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. Now that she's muted, so she can hear me.
Rude.
Boozy,
I
How
unmuted myself.
many? How many are on the show?
It depends on the. It depends. It's either up to 5 or like 8.
All right, so 6. Let's go with 6. We need 6.
Well, it's definitely
Jen.
Jillian.
Jillian, Julie.
No, don't put Julie. She's a waste of space. She can hold like a I don't know what's famous in Canton that they can hold in their hands. New York has apples. Beverly Hills has diamonds.
Pricks and cider.
Okay. But then you need to have people they're going to clash with. So can you put like I don't know Rita on there? Oh, that'd be great.
Oh
that'd
my
be
God!
great
Let's put a
TV.
couple of each. A
Yeah.
couple of each. So it would be Rita. Might as well. Hey, we might as well put Gail on there.
Wait, chat. You need to get involved in this. Chat. Who
All right.
would you want to see on the Canton
Okay, so we got to
Housewives?
put them all together. So it would be Jen, Jillian, Rita, Gail.
Gail would be great TV. Sherry
What
said
about
White
what about
Lotus.
Trish?
Trish
Yeah,
would
why
be
not?
good. Yeah, as a select board member too. She'd
Yeah.
be great.
And now we need another one from the other side. Oh, Denise. How about Denise?
Bangs.
I don't want Gal. I want no, because Galvin can be a friend of the show.
All
She
right.
doesn't need. She doesn't need a full spot.
What about? What about the girl that's? I know she's not married. She's still a little young. But what about Julie Nagel?
No, Lizzie
No.
Proctor. No, Lizzie Proctor.
There you go, Lizzie Proctor.
How'd we miss that
Lizzie
one? That should
Proctor.
have been number
There you
one,
go,
right?
Lizzie Proctor. Yeah.
But honestly, if you want someone that's probably a little bit better, Courtney Proctor.
Here's one. Colleen O'Neill.
Go, Colleen. Yes.
There you go. Oh my God. You know I'm gonna have to make. You know I'm gonna have to make that meme. I'm gonna have to put that thing together tomorrow.
Oh my God. So you have you
Yeah.
have Jill Daniels, Jen McCabe, Colleen O'Neill, Rita Lombardi, Courtney Proctor.
Courtney, there's 3 on each side right there. Yeah, and Gail.
No, wait, no, I'm missing someone. A lot of the housewives now are they're not engaged, single, divorced, separated.
Oh my God, they could all be like, send them up to Top Golf for an episode. You could send them to the Blue Hill Country Club for some sort
they'll
of
be the,
function.
you know what? There'll be the classic fight on the sidewalk right outside D&E. Oh, you just know it. You just know it.
They
You
could-
got
yeah,
Gail, you
they
got
could-
Gail across the street trying to cut some hair, and all of a sudden there's a fight outside in the parking lot.
Or they go up to the what's that restaurant over there that used to be at Big D's? Eric,
Say it again.
what's the restaurant that used to be at Big D's?
Elsie's.
Elsie's Table. They could all be sitting at Elsie's table sipping their wine.
The good wine too. The Josh.
Oh, and that's right. And then we also said Trish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brenda
So
Swe-
no, we
Brenda
could totally
Sweeney.
get. Well, because that would be great ratings. Because
Listen,
the select board on the
wouldn't Brenda Sweeney be a great select board member?
Yeah. Well, she-
yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hint hint.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
And then you have the friends at the show. Oh Lord. Oh, that'd be so fun.
Oh my God. Yep.
That'd
gonna
be
have to-
so great. Just picture
We're
the.
gonna, have to, we're gonna have to pitch that to someone.
Wait, who has a contact to Andy Cohen? Anyone? Bueller?
Bueller.
Oh my God.
No, we need Trish. She'd be great. You need someone that's more level-headed.
Could you just see them all in a room together?
Yes.
Oh,
What
The
about Ashley?
reunion would
What
be
about
so
Ashley?
great.
no.
No. No, I don't want to bring in the drama with John.
We don't want drama.
No.
No,
drama?
Stop with the drama.
around John O'Keefe. I want the drama to be around the watering holes.
Oh shit.
You know, yeah, and that kind of stuff.
Well, there you go. So, folks, we made it, and we're 30 minutes ahead of schedule.
John, we usually 3-4 hours. What happened?
I know.
Are you ready? Are you ready to use the men's room or something?
No,
Are
I used it
you
once.
afraid that we might
I snuck
close
no, I
the
snuck-
show
yeah.
out without you?
I thought, you know what? I did already run upstairs once, and I took a calculated guess. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna shut down Gale. I should make my run for it now.
And you knew you'd have plenty of time. with
I
Gail
knew I'd
Clark.
come back. I'm up there going, you know what? Yeah, I can wash both my hands this time. So, you know,
Oh my God.
what?
Oh. Really?
Town hall. I mean, at town hall, they only give you one sheet, you know, one piece of paper, so you can only wash one hand.
We need proof that he washed the other hand. We've only seen one hand washed.
You know, he's the type of guy that's like, I work with my hands, when in reality, he doesn't clean underneath his fucking fingernails.
I've shaken that
that's a
hand, and
lie.
when every
That's
time
a lie.
every time
a
I shake that
lie.
hand, I can't
That's a
even find
lie.
my hand
The nice and clean.
manicured.
Yeah. Karen's Defense Fund is only $7,600 away from $1 million. Can you
That's
believe
awesome.
that?
That's awesome.
Almost $1 million.
I bet we couldn't help with that. Come on. I say we stay on until it gets to 1 million.
No,
Do we have the poll?
you want to know why?
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 Because you're not even on.
I look like trash right now.
No, but you look like trash and you do TikToks.
John, don't be a little potty pooper.
No.
He's so mean, chat.
She does TikToks after she's done a facial. She can't even come on here.
And
she
I
went
was
on for a viewer
glowing.
real quick.
I was glowing. There's
Yeah.
a difference.
She's getting her nails done. She's getting her facial.
I'm feeling good, like I should. And then
Yeah.
walk on neighborhood.
I'm cutting that one. That's gonna be a new.
Feeling
Super chat.
good. Yeah. Like I should. Yeah. Think I'll walk around.
Oh, I did have one other thing. Eric, remember I showed you that? I got one little funny thing that we can leave with.
What do you got?
Your face?
Yeah.
I love it.
That hurts.
Jose!
Boozy, that hurts.
No, it didn't hurt. It
So we,
stung a little bit, but it didn't hurt.
there's no way that she's still watching now, right?
Who?
Right now, my friend,
She.
my friend.
You have friends?
You know, I went into the Wayback Machine and screen recorded this.
Ooh.
Oh, I got to see this. Oh, Chief Helena.
Yeah.
Are you Dixie Normus?
Why are we letting this out
What
now?
I say?
Oh
What
my
I say?
Ah,
What I say right away?
you know I am. Come on, put it back up. Put it back
Oh,
up.
the rest didn't matter. They just I am. I should have. I could put it back up, but I should have. I should have just said I am. And then,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
What?
You know I am.
What? That's you don't need the way back machine. What am I looking? Oh my god.
John, this was at 12:45, but what day? What year?
I'd have to go back. That was last year when that was when she was trying to get us not to do the little chicken dance in the Halloween parade.
Ah, that's when you got a police escort at the back
Yeah.
end of the parade.
Yeah, so I am Dixie Normus. Did you? Talking about? Did you? I don't know.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh.
All right, John, time to go. It's time to go.
All right. It's time to go. I just want to make sure that I went through all of the stuff that we did. We Chris is allowed back in, right? Helena's still hiding stuff at the station. Everything's still the 227, right? The Colordos. We get tomorrow the Pequot Side Showdown, the Paddles, Politics, and Possibly Contaminated Phil. That's at 7:00 tomorrow night, right? Don't forget, we're going to check and see if that check gets cashed tomorrow, and the rest is history. All right. Thank you guys all that contributed. Thank you guys all that stayed.
Did you read all the super chats and all the Venmos?
Yes, I read all the Venmos. All
Richie,
this.
John, I see that Richie Schiffer says that he's got a measuring tool if you need one, but it's metrics.
Oh,
If
yeah,
that helps.
I use metric. Let me double check. Let me just double check the Venmos. I think I got them all. Nope, that's Jeff Williams. Nope, that's it. No, I read them all. We're good. We are good. We don't. Hey, everybody. Boozy, say goodbye to everybody.
You better not boot me off before I can say goodbye.
I'm not going to boot you off. I'm saying I'm giving you. I'm giving you.
Fast. I said that so fast in case you were going to actually boot me
I'm
beforehand.
not going to boot you.
You have traumatized me. I never know what
I'm
you
not.
like.
Rosie, he's gonna boot me. He's
I'm
not gonna boot
I'm
you.
not going to boot either one of you.
Eric, you booted all of us on Thursday. Don't even
Yeah.
talk.
How cool is that?
I had to come back and keep going on with the show. Yeah.
Chronicle Crew, we're on the street, digging up truth with fire and heat. Select board sweating, boots are loud. We ask the questions, they're not allowed. Lane's got affidavits full of holes, while Boozy's digging, bless her soul. Jen and Carrie changing tales. We track the texts and read the trails. Police reports that disappear. We say the stuff they fear to hear. Canton strong and snarky too. Connor Bull's coming right for you.